talking to me?
What is good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the We Love Gaming podcast. This is episode 65. My name is Marcus, aka Godly Sovereign, and if this is your first time joining the podcast, then welcome. You made the best decision you have ever made in your entire life. Now, to make your second best decision, go ahead and click the subscribe button and hit the like button as well for us. That would greatly help us out. If you are returning, then you already know the deal, man. So welcome back, and we got a whole lot of gaming stuff to talk about today. It was a big week, with GamesCom and everything like that, so that's pretty much what this whole shit is going to be filled with, is Gamescom topics and whatnot. Before we get started, there's that Patreon link below. I know I'm not wearing no WLG shirt today, but Ray does, and so he definitely is repping the merch as always. So if you guys would like to get one of those shirts, they're down there below. We are here to talk about games, and of course I say we because I am not here alone. I have the 1,000 Game Slayer, Ray, aka Sir Knight. What's good, my boy?
What's up, man? What's good? It's good, man. Kids come back to school next Monday, so I've been heavy in the classroom this week.
You had a good little break though. So
yeah,
have you still been doing school and they just been doing remote?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They've
So
been
they finally decided to open
just
up
doing
now.
remote. So they actually come back into the classroom on Monday.
Uh-huh.
But I teach at what's called a learning center. It's for homeschool kids.
Yeah.
And so they only come in a couple days a week.
Oh. Okay.
Otherwise, they work at home because it's homeschool.
Right.
But we've been prepping and planning, this whole week, getting my room ready.
Yeah.
So that's been fun. I kind of been enjoying that. It's one of the fun parts for me,
Right.
Making the room up and stuff. But that starts Monday, so I've been busy with that. Gaming's been a little bit on the back burner, not entirely shut off, but a little bit on the back burner. But I got some things to talk about today. What about you, man?
Man, my week has been pretty busy, you know what I mean? Just, the normal work stuff, and then I was trying to, I'm still trying to put more work in on my room, my game room and stuff like that.
We're gonna do a little cribs kind of edition, right? With our gaming
we
setup.
definitely gonna put some on
Patreon
on
or something?
Patreon
Yeah.
for like a little cribs, like a game rooms edition, man
Yeah.
cave edition or whatever.
Yeah, I got a little
to
man
show.
cave. I know
Yeah.
you're working on one.
Ray's got a nice little man cave going on over there. He's got all of
Yeah.
his stuff in there. So
My little
I got
command center.
mine. I'm slowly putting mine together. I'm trying to build everything. So I've got this huge 8-foot chest that I'm in the middle of building right now, and then just getting done with that. I got the final finishing touches to put on that. So hopefully I'll be remotely done with it enough to just modify slight things on it by the end of this weekend. So that's the plan for that, and then I'll be working on the little things like adding the shelves and stuff, and then I'm gonna slowly start finding things to put on those shelves. I gotta dust the crates off, dust those milk crates, and and pull out the PlayStation, the Atari, the GameCube.
Dude, that's sick. Your little retro wall
Sega,
going. Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
dope.
do all
That's
of that
dope.
and stuff like that, and get that.
Yeah,
going,
because you
so.
still, I have all yours.
Huh?
You still have all your old systems.
For the
I get
most
rid of
part,
mine.
I think
Every
still
generation,
have,
I swap it out.
Yeah, I think I still have a PlayStation 2. I might have traded that one in though. But
Maybe.
I know I still got my 3, and I still got my 4, of course. But the 4 is getting utilized, so it won't be on the wall.
But you got your Cube, and you got your Dreamcast.
I got the Dreamcast.
Yeah, you got
still.
some cool ones there.
Yeah. I got a couple
you
of
got some cool
old
ones.
retro things.
I remember we
The
loved our
Atari is about
Dreamcast,
to be the
man.
big boy on there because that sucker is huge as shit.
Yeah.
It's not the the redone one where it was mini, and then it had all the games on it. This is the one you still got to put the cartridges in.
We were pretty big fans of our Dreamcast, you and I.
Yeah.
A short-lived console, but I remember we loved that thing,
I
man.
remember
we
I
loved
got
it.
my Dreamcast from you or your father, one of those.
My dad.
Two. Yeah,
Yeah.
your dad
Yeah.
sold me his thing, and
My
he sold me
dad's-
the PlayStation 3 too.
I know, I did. And then we sold Mark, my dad's PS4.
Right. So your dad has definitely contributed to the collection.
Yeah, dude, he's so funny, man.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to get Mark too and get some stands so I can put my PS Vita, and then I think I still got my PSP somewhere around this piece.
Oh, you got
So
your
I put
PSP
that,
too?
yeah.
The PSP.
I got the
wow.
the Nintendo DS, the dual screen one.
Nice.
You know, the flip joint.
I got the advanced
clamshell.
dual screen.
Yeah.
I should probably bring that over. You could add it to your collection.
Yeah. So
I have no use for it.
I got that.
Yeah.
You know, I got a couple of other little things, but yeah, this is definitely something that I'll be able to put some shelves on the wall, and we can possibly have like a nice background for us.
Totally, really nice, cool background.
Or if we decide to move in there to do the podcast and whatnot.
Yeah, we got to make it
more central
hot and cold out here.
Yeah,
that's cool, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. So I'm excited too. I want to get this shit done.
I know, because you want to use it. I know you want to use it.
Yeah, I've been trying to game in there, but it's just it'd be so much stuff everywhere.
So you're remote playing right now.
Yeah, well, like. I think yesterday I was playing, but I had like a bunch of wood and shit on the floor. So I'm like half turned trying to like get around everything so I can like play on the wall and stuff like that.
That's funny, yeah.
But let's enough of that stuff. What games have you been playing this week?
Yeah, so I've been just like I took a little break from Hades, but man, I just love that game so much that it's that old whole, hangover symptom I was telling you about. When you love a game so much, and then when you're kind of putting it aside or you're kind of pausing or you're done with it one way or another, no game just kind of lives up, Okay. And so I've been kind of like jumping around. So they announced that 60 frames per second update for Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
And so I purchased that game and played through the majority of it a long time ago.
Okay.
So I was like, well, now that 60 frames, maybe I'll fire that up again and see if I can finish it. And so I did that. And it looked cool in 60, but I was like, damn, I'm lost. So I was like 70-something% through. Like I only probably had like 20 or 30% of the game left. Mm-hmm. But I just had zero clue. I'm like, I don't feel like rediscovering it. I don't feel like taking the time to like relearn what I'm supposed to be doing.
Try to figure out what you had missed,
so
what you've forgotten, yeah.
While it was pretty and kind of a good idea, like that's more so like maybe I'll restart this and play it again in 60 frames.
Right.
But not right now,
Yeah,
so,
I might have to try to play that one because it's on Game Pass.
I think it was free.
And I think we got it on
it's on Game Pass,
well.
and I think it was free on like PS Plus or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have the game somehow, some way.
I think the PS5 collection.
I don't know if it's on the collection. I don't think Shadow of the Tomb Raider is. I don't know. Maybe one of the Tomb Raiders is, but not the most recent one. It's definitely on Game Pass, though, I think.
Okay.
So if you want to play in 60 on that. And it was really dope when I was playing it. Like, I like Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
But I just was like, I don't have the patience for this right now. So, like, I ran around, played a bit, shot some things, but I was like, I can't do it. So I shut that off. Huh?
Do you feel like Tomb Raider was, like, the best movie adaptation out of all the video games that we've played?
I actually
video game to movie?
I don't think a lot of people agree, but I actually really like that Assassin's Creed
the Assassin's Creed movie was pretty dope.
That was really cool to me. Mm-hmm. Like, that one just worked for me. But Tomb Raiders are decent. They're okay.
I mean,
none of them are great.
Action, right?
Yeah, none of them are great, but it's
Jolie.
decent.
You can't go wrong with that.
Well, and then you had the newest one with the girl from Ex Machina.
Yeah.
She's the newest Tomb Raider girl. She's done a couple already.
I was thinking more so like the old.
Oh, the old Angelinas. I can't even remember those ones, man. Like, I know. I saw them when I was a kid, like in the 90s in the theater.
Right.
But I can't even remember like those stories. But the newer ones are pretty good. The newer ones, the new chick, are decent. I think they're okay. But really, I like the AC. Assassin's Creed was really cool.
That was actually. I think that's probably.
They're so rare, man. When you get a decent, video game movie because they're just so poorly done.
But it's obvious that they go off of new stories. Like these ones, they do new stories.
Yeah, they do new stories.
If you do the same story we've been and played already, like. Throw that shit in the trash, man.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But finish up.
So then, I put that aside. I had a couple indies on my backlog that I've been wanting to play. One of them was Hyper Light Drifter.
Okay.
And I love Death's Door. I talked about that earlier this year.
Right.
So far, that's like one of my favorite games in the year. And that was on Xbox. And I really like Death's Door. And it's like that top-down, isometric Zelda, puzzles, swipe your sword. Mm-hmm. And I was looking up reviews and Reddit when I was playing Death's Door, and people were like, yeah, this is a great game. It's like a clone of Hyper Light Drifter. And I was like, really? And Hyper Light Drifter has been out for many years. I think they came out in like 2016 or 2017. Like, it's been out for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And so I had it. So I loaded it up and I started playing it, and damn, they were right, man. Like, it almost feels like a copy in a lot of ways. But I do think Death's Door is better because I like the way the art looks much better. I like the game feels much better when you play it. But some things feel like just like straight similar. So I can see what people are talking about. So that one I put aside as well. And then I was like, well, let me try Spelunky 2 because I had that. And I was playing through Spelunky too, and I was like, nah, this is too hard. So I put that aside.
Spelunky is rough,
you know.
bro.
And
Spelunky
then
is rough.
yeah, it's just too hard, and I wasn't feeling like playing a game that hard right now. And I do
Right.
like Spelunky, but I just like nah. So then finally Psychonauts 2 came out,
Okay.
and I fired up Psychonauts 2.
Right.
And that game I probably put a couple hours into. I got through like all the opening, the whole opening section,
Yeah.
you know, and that one's pretty cool. The graphics aren't as annoying as I thought they would be, because they're kind of like
Outdated as fuck.
yeah, but they're polished though. Like they're outdated, but they're smooth. It's not blocky, so it almost just feels like they're like what you're saying. They're outdated, but it almost feels like just an artistic choice. Like not necessarily outdated. It almost feels like, okay, this is just an artistic choice they chose.
But I was never like dumbfounded off of their freaking
like
art. Like
yeah,
I was never
so
like, oh, it's amazing, you know.
yeah,
But
and it was getting mad reviews. Like I think it had like an 89 on PC from Metacritic, which is like nearly a 90, which is like unheard of high, which was like Ratchet and Clank high. So I'm like, okay, well I'm gonna check it out. And like I said, like the graphics were fine because it didn't feel, because they were so polished and smooth, it didn't feel like they were old. It just felt like artistically that's the choice they made. The combat was fun, which we know it's fun. You played Psychonauts the original. The psychic powers are a lot of fun. I was annoyed though because when you're doing your attack combo, you know, I say square, but on Xbox it's another button. The left, you know, middle button.
X.
Is it X?
I don't
So
know.
when you're pressing
I think
X
it's
or
X.
whatever,
Yeah, I
and
think
you're
it's
doing your combo punches,
Y, X, A, and then B.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it's Y, X, A, and B. Yeah. I'm pressing X, you know, to do your 3-punch combo.
Yeah.
And there's these creatures in the world. They're called like, I don't know what they are. They stamp you out because you're in the subconscious world.
Right.
And so when something's subtracting your subconscious, the enemy's coming to attack
guards,
you.
yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
And there's these guys that come out and they have these big stamps and they just chase you down and they try to stamp you out. And your attacks, for one, don't flinch them. You know, in a lot of games, when you come up to a guy and as long as you're attacking them, they're like, oh, and they can't really attack you back.
Yeah.
It's like a standard thing in a lot of games.
Sure.
Not in here.
Because you're what do they call it? Interrupting.
You're like interrupting them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of like a standard mechanic, which would make sense. If I'm punching you to death, you're going to have a really hard time punching me back.
Especially if you're dying.
Especially if you're dying. But these guys ignore you. They just want to keep stamping you out.
Yeah.
And so, like, they just, as long as they're in their animation mode, they're just like, again, and they're stamping you out. And so, like, oh, crap, dodge. But if you're in the middle of a combo, you can't dodge cancel. Just like my Godfall
dodge
complaint.
cancel. Yeah.
And it's like, dang, man, why couldn't you have let there be dodge cancel like Spider-Man?
So
or like, you know,
one stamp and you're done, or
Batman.
what?
No, it's
Or
not
it's
one
just
stamp and
damage?
you're done. But it's very frustrating. And so
Okay.
it took me a little while to kind of get the groove. And you just kind of like 1-2 hits dodge. You can never get a full combo off on them. Or like you wait for them to do their pound and then now you attack quickly and you can get a full combo off on them.
Is there difficulty choices?
I didn't even check to see if there's difficulty choices.
Okay.
I didn't even check.
All
And what's crazy is a lot of my deaths came from like falling off things. Not necessarily like
So
combat,
there's
but
no
falling off
guardrails.
things. Mm-mm.
That
So that was kind of annoying too. So those are a couple of my complaints with the game. But like I said, I think it looks fine, even though they kept the same kind of like graphics from the old one.
Right.
They're very polished. They're much more clean. It's 60 FPS, 4K. So like it looks good in that as best as it can. It looks as good as it can look,
Yeah.
right?
4K, like why
It's
the
well voice acted. It's very well voice acted, very well written, which we know. We enjoyed that.
Doesn't the guy who make the game do the voices on like a large
I thought
majority
he
of them?
did. I thought he did do the voices.
Okay, so
Double
hella
Fine,
cheap, hella
that
cheap
guy's
to do
name.
all of the scripts. So
Yeah,
that
but it's
worked.
well written though, right? Like a lot of
Right.
these games can have like poor writing. It's really well written. The story's shallow but interesting enough. The combat's fun, of course. The psychic powers are fun. It's fun burning things. It's fun throwing things. Of course, right? They're not as dope as Control. Control is the dopest psychic powers like I've ever played. Control is like sick. I can't think of one better. Can you think of a game that has better psychic powers than Control?
I'm trying to think
I think Control might
because we've
might
played
have done
quite
it
a
the
few.
best.
We played
Yeah.
quite a few, but I can't remember. Oh, the telekinetic powers from DC Universe Online. Top it.
Better than Control? Control felt good, man.
Nah, DC Universe is like one of the best games ever made. So
You're funny, man.
I'm
I know what you
seriously
mean.
joking.
I know
I'm not
he's
for
joking.
reals.
I know he's joking about it. But yeah, I can't think of anything better. So I could compare a lot of games to Control when it comes to psychic abilities.
Yeah.
And Psychonauts is good. It is good. It's polished. It's just not as punchy or as like exciting.
It doesn't
as
feel
Control.
weighted.
It doesn't feel weighty enough. And so, but I'll definitely keep playing Psychonauts. I can see myself eventually finishing that game. You know, another game that I did play, and I need to mention this.
What?
12 Minutes.
Oh, I've been hearing a lot about 12 Minutes.
12
How
minutes.
is
Very good and very bad at the same time.
it? Okay, you gotta break it
Okay,
down
I got to break this down. So, I recommend playing it. I actually beat the whole game, but I couldn't beat it without a guide at the end.
Without a guide?
I cannot even tell you.
For like what
it
to
is
do?
impossible to figure out, I think, on your own. Impossible, in my opinion.
Interesting.
It may not be impossible in the sense, you know, that if you spend enough hours and hours and hours and hours, you might figure it out. But just like playing it through normally and like trying to do a normal time run on it, I think it's impossible to figure out what you're supposed to do.
And you have 12 minutes to beat this game?
Okay,
or
so
what?
the way it works is this. It's a time loop.
Okay.
And when I first saw the game, I was like, dude, I don't know. Is 12 minutes enough time to even get done when I need to get done between each
Sure.
run?
When you know what's coming next,
Yeah,
right?
but it is hard to fit everything in, kind of. But you start the game off, you enter the hallway, you go to your door, you open it up, your wife comes out, tells you some knowledge, and you're just living your life. So you're just doing the normal things. You know, you eat dessert with your wife. You don't realize you're in a time loop yet. Cop comes knocking on the door. Open up, police. Puts your wife on the ground. You're under arrest. Tells you your wife's under arrest.
You're not about to get a whole basis to the story.
No,
right?
I'm not. I'm just giving
Okay.
you a synopsis.
All right.
And you're like, no, she's not. She's innocent. And she's like, what are you doing? No, I'm not. And he's like, yes, you are. You're under arrest. Because you'll see this in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Right.
You're under the arrest for the murder of your
Wait,
father.
the game is 12 minutes long, though, right?
Yes.
You see this in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, there's the game, guys. So.
It is. You learn like basically the vast majority of the game in the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
But you learn little things along the way, which I'm not going to spoil any of those things. However,
Right, yeah.
you're like, oh my gosh, she's innocent. And he's like, no, she's not. And he's like, where's the watch? And then he like kills you or like damages you. And blink, you're back at the very start of your game
Okay.
in your hotel.
And that's how it begins.
And that's how it begins. And so you're like, what? What the heck just happened? And now you have some knowledge. And so you can like use it.
Okay.
Hey, honey, in 10 minutes, the guy's gonna you can like start doing things, right? But the game gives you like no hint. This is one of my complaints. Here's my number one complaint is the controls are horrendous on Xbox.
Okay.
This feels like it was meant to be a PC game, in my opinion.
oh,
and they brought
point
it
and
out.
click.
Yes, because you're using your joystick as like a mouse, so it's extra
Oh, then
slow.
you just need to hook up your keyboard and your mouse to it.
I think that would be much better. A mouse would be like, this is going to be much faster.
Okay.
If you have a mouse, in my opinion. And really, that's about all you need is pointing and clicking. You don't even need the keyboard. Like, if you just put the mouse in, I think you'll be able to play this game all the way through.
So have you ever tried that?
No,
Like having a
I never
wireless
thought
controller
about
and a
doing
mouse
that.
hooked
I
up
never
to it
thought
to
about
see?
even plugging my mouse into it.
Okay.
That's a great idea. I just never thought about doing it.
Right. I might have to try that.
Because it's like, you know, the cursor's like really slow. You know when you're ever
then
using
you
the
need to go
joystick
into
cursor?
The settings and boost that.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about doing
mouse
that
speed,
either.
like,
But you know what I'm talking about? Like when
yeah,
you're
yeah,
using
yeah.
the joystick and you're like let's say you open up like
when
a
you're
world
trying to
map.
keyboard type. Like
Or-
when you're trying to talk to somebody and you got to move
That too.
the cursor.
Like
thing.
you know how slow the cursor is. Like
Yeah.
imagine you have a mouse. It's like click, 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 click. Like you're
Right.
much faster. For some reason, they make the joystick, let's say standard speed, very slow for some reason.
Right.
Or like when you open up your map in Skyrim or something and you have your cursor.
Yeah.
It's like kind of slow, you know. And so some things require like quick movement in this game.
Right.
You have to like drop things at certain times, and so after like that almost turned me off enough to like stop playing. But I was like, I'm intrigued enough. I want to know what's going on. My second complaint, which is not as strong, is by strong I mean not as annoying to me as the controls. How bad the controls are, is that the game gives you really no indication of what you're even supposed to be doing. So I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Am I supposed to be solving the murder? Am I supposed to be somehow convincing the cop that she's innocent. Like, I don't know really what I'm supposed to be doing.
Can you kill the cop?
Yeah. That doesn't do anything, though. So that you can do that, but you just keep looping. Like, there's no indication on, like, what's your goal. Okay. Is my goal to kill the cop? Is my goal to interrogate the cop? Is my goal to
prove your innocence?
Prove my innocence? Is my goal? What is my goal? I have no idea what my goal is.
Can you not be there?
That doesn't work. You can. That doesn't work. Whenever you try to leave the apartment, it resets the loop. So you start over.
Okay.
So that kind of sucks too, because you gotta like do all the dialogues again.
Yeah.
So it's like you're doing the same stuff over and over again.
Right.
And so I was just kind of like meandering around, doing things to learn things, talking to my wife, eventually talking to the cop. I'm not gonna spoil how you can end up doing that, because you gotta kind of like think about how can I even get this cop, to talk, because he's just dead set on killing us.
Yeah.
And so it's like I don't want to ruin any of that, but like. At some point in time, like I felt like I had collected as much information as I possibly could collect, and I didn't know what the heck to do. And that's when like I was like, I don't know how to finish this game. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. I honestly don't know what my goal is here. I know how to kill the dude. I know how to interrogate the dude. I know how to prove we're innocent. I know it all. But what am I supposed to do next? And you have to look it up, man. You have to look it up to know, because you will never believe it. In my opinion, it's retarded how like you're supposed to beat the game. Retarded. Anyways, I did look it up for like the last couple loops, because there's like a lot of loops to get to the point where you're like at the end. For like the last couple loops, I was like, well, if I want to finish this game, like I'm gonna have to look this up.
So when you hit like a loop, does it reset it all the way to the very beginning? Or is there like a checkpoint where you'll just hit that sort of a loop?
Okay, minor checkpoints. Okay, first and foremost, you have like 10 or 12 minutes every loop, no matter what. Okay. So let's say you've done some things and you got to the point where you can interrogate the cop. There's still a timer. Like if you're still talking to him too long, it will just reset on you. Even though like you didn't get hurt or die or you left the house, it will just reset on you.
So you have 12 minutes to beat the game.
You have like 12 minutes. Well, it's more so you have like 12 minutes to learn everything you can.
Okay.
You can't beat the game in one go. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Okay.
Because there's so many things you have to learn and do in each loop.
So it's like Hades, when you got the different conversations and stuff like that the next time you pop up?
There are different conversations so long as you select the right choices when you talk to somebody. You'll learn some more new things.
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh, crap, that's true? And you'll spend some time, like, collecting items to go figure that out now. And then your loop will end. So it's like, okay, now when I go back, I already know that exists. I don't have to ask that question. Yeah. And you kind of can just, like, keep collecting information. It's impossible to beat it in one loop. Because there's only so much information you can collect in 10 minutes, Yeah. And so you're just, every loop is like a new... Can I learn something new this loop? You're just trying to learn something new. And there are ways to kind of like you were saying, speed it along, where like there might be like a choice that I can select now at my wife that lets me explain to her in one button choice that I'm a time traveler than having to like go through each process that I went through before. Right? Like maybe one of the instances, one of the loops, I had to like prove it to my wife that I'm looping. So I had to go and collect things that would prove it to her. But the next time around, the game gives me one word to say that will prove it to her. So I don't have to do that collecting again and waste the time. So it kind of like is like there are like little checkpoints in the game kind of that help you along.
Okay.
But it was intriguing enough that I wanted to play it to the end apart from the annoyances that I mentioned.
So it had a decent enough story, kind of like, how I felt like Plague's Tale was.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea. Like the loop is a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I think like we haven't really seen a game like this before, where you have like a short window, and you're trying to collect as much information as you can in a short window.
Yeah.
That I think it was because like a first attempt kind of thing, that it could be done better, with just slightly more direction on what you're supposed to be doing as an individual, without leaving it completely up in the air. Because there's so many different things that I would think would finish the game. Right, like me as an individual, that I think, well, that should be it. That game, we should be done, but you're not done.
Yeah.
Like you didn't solve the game. You looped again. You're like, damn, it didn't end the loop. What am I supposed to do? How do I end the loop? It's like so impossible to know.
Right.
And so I think there needs to be a little bit more, I don't want to say hand-holding, but but not guidance, but just like an obvious direction on what you're supposed to do. In the sense of like when the cop comes in and you see what happens, it makes a logical sense on what you should be doing next. I feel like it wasn't like a logical sense on what you're supposed to be doing. So 12 minutes, I beat that game. So I got that achievement on Xbox. So another game slayed.
Man, 1002.
1002. But that's basically what I've been playing this week.
Okay. That's cool.
I've been all over the place, right? But 12 minutes, I put a lot of time into 12 minutes.
Okay.
That was like this last weekend.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a short game. I would recommend it, bro. Like, if you have a chance, download that this weekend. I think you'll really like it. But just be aware of the pitfalls I was telling you about, so those you won't be as annoyed by them.
Right.
But and I think you'll see what I'm talking about by just how, like, no direction. Like, I think you'll see what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be like, this doesn't make sense. That I think just is the reason why is because it's like the first time anyone's ever tried this, and like they're learning. But I think like it's really neat. Like Kojima came out and said like it made him want to make a game. Like this. And like, see, now that we've seen it done once, like maybe he'll be able to make the changes that's needed for like when it happens again.
Yeah.
So like I recommend it. It has Daisy Ridley in there. It has like William Dafoe as actors.
Oh yeah.
Voice acting, so it's very well voice acted.
Okay.
It's very well.
What's the studio that did this?
Written. I can't even remember the name of the studio, man.
Okay. Right.
But I had my eye on 12 minutes for a while, and that came out. So y'all go check it out. I think you're gonna enjoy it. It's a cool little indie that I recommend everyone out there to try.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's been my my week. I guess this week it will probably be like Psychonauts or something.
Luis Antonio. That's just the developer. So it's like
just decided to make an idea. It's more like a script kind of game than like it's more like a movie than like a standard game. Yeah, it's like this could have been a movie easily,
Yeah, for sure.
What about you, man? What you playing?
As far as me, of course, I played some more Let It Die.
I'm sure you're playing the same games, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I played some Let It Die. Man, I was up to like floor 21. I made it up to 23. But within 21 and 23, I was just getting my ass kicked, like pretty heavily. Like for some reason, the blueprints that I've unlocked and the gear that I've got, it just wasn't adequate enough. You know what I mean? Like if I have stuff run up on me and hit me, like it takes like 1 or 2 hits and I'm just done really quick. So it was a little annoying to have to get through. And so I think I ended up. I finally made it to floor 24, and I ended up dropping $1 to get some more death metal.
Oh, you threw the developer some money.
Threw them guys
finally.
$1, So
you're giving me 40 hours of entertainment. Here's $1 for that.
Here you go. So I think you can only do it one time though. I think you can only make that purchase one time. But
oh man, that's funny.
But yeah, so I was just like I was on the brink of finally getting to the next floor. And I was just like, okay, I gotta like, get my life extended. I was hoping for a free continue, cause I just got wrecked by something just like out of nowhere. It just caught me off guard. So I ended up just tossing $1 on there, whatever. Got that, and finally got up to the floor that I wanted. I was able to unlock it. Get to the elevator. Hit
so
the
now
switch.
it's like set,
so
right?
So now I can go up there
and start
and
from
then
there.
just keep going.
You're
from
like
there.
$1 well spent.
So yeah, but I still got some residuals from the $1 or whatnot. But
right.
like shortly after I got executed. But I was like, you know what? I literally was just trying to get to this point right here. So I think I was up to like 2 a.m.
So that was kind of like redemption from last week, right? Where you
essentially. And I still had one where I was just like getting obliterated. And I was like, damn, dude, I want to quit, but I'm going to just like stick this through. Like, I need to get to this.
Come on, man. You got to throw those developers a few dollars here and there, man.
Well, the only thing you can really buy is those death medals.
This has been like one of your favorite games for like 4 weeks now.
I mean, it's a good game.
And like you got to toss them a couple coins, man.
They got the $1 from me. I don't know what more they want from me. They lucky they got that. You know what I mean?
That's funny, bro.
Yeah, so I was playing some more with that and having fun with that, and getting different blueprints and things like that, and that was cool. And then I was I forgot where I was at. I was on the internet and I was looking up something video game related. and I happened to see like fucking advertisement about a game. And so I was like curious about it. I was like, this looks weird, but you know what I mean? I'll give it a look. So it's called I got it pulled up here. Let me see. It's called Super Animal Royale. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay, it's just a fucking
so.
battle royale, right? And I suck at all these battle royales.
Right.
But I figured like this is like
You got me gonna search.
this is like dumb indie. So maybe there's like not a lot of good players on it or something like that. And I can just like, play it and then be able to enjoy something without just getting wrecked.
What'd you play it on? What system?
I played it on Xbox.
Okay.
So
was free on Xbox?
It's literally out there on all free. It's just a free game in general. So you can get it on Xbox. You can get it on PlayStation. Yeah, it's PC. It's out there. So anyways, I'm playing this and like my first match, I'm trying to figure out like, what the hell do I do, right? Like, all you get equipped with is a sword. That's all you start with. So I'm trying to figure out like, damn, how do I like switch to a gun or whatever? Like you don't have no gun. So because I don't play royales, right? So apparently you just got to drop in. It's literally just a mock of Fortnite. You come in on this big ass bird.
Well, yeah,
of a bus.
they all copy the original PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
Oh, okay.
That's what PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds did.
Oh, okay.
They started the freaking battle royale craze. Remember that game?
Yeah, I do remember that one.
So Fortnite just copied them. They all start that way. You come in on the plane or whatever it is, bus, and
you parachute in.
Parachute in, yeah.
Okay, so you just parachute into an area.
Warzone does it. They all do it now.
Yeah, and so I was getting wrecked pretty hard, pretty quick. Because it's like your life is really like
How
small.
were people hurting you with a gun?
Yeah, they were finding guns and like I didn't realize like, oh, you got to go pick up a gun and then you can switch to a gun and use it.
Is this your first delve into a battle royale game?
I've
Slightly
downloaded
delved.
Fortnite once and played like one or two games.
You're kind of like me where I haven't played too many games.
Have you ever played Spellbound?
No, although I did want to try that one out.
Spellbound's actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
Because you're just using magical spells.
That's fun.
To, like, bomb
Spells
people
are fun, yeah.
It's a little bit easier to maneuver around. You know what I mean? Because you use the spells instead of guns.
Right.
So I mean, you have like a little bit of
explosion range is like more forgiving,
you have a little
right?
bit more
Yeah,
AOE
it's a wider
for
shit. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right,
yeah.
You got like a slight mulligan because you can throw that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Where a gun is like a laser beam.
You got to be on
like
point.
really good. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So I've liked Spellbound, but I just never got like super into it. But I would actually try to play that one if I knew there was a couple of people to like get in with and just run like a squad or something, or just play it. You know what I mean?
So did you end up finding the gunman or what?
I found a gun and then whatnot, and I probably played like maybe 10 games. They're like super quick because you die super quick, and then you just
that's how battle royales are.
And then start another one, and then it was fairly, it was like 40 seconds in between each game or whatever. So it was pretty quick to go through. It's definitely something that like if I was into battle royales, it might be something to give a try. But I'm not. I really just saw it.
So this
and
didn't
just
change your
wanted to see
mind?
what it
This
was.
game didn't change your mind?
Fuck no,
Okay.
I don't like battle royales.
So you didn't get no bug?
No, I did not. Not from that.
All right.
So then, after all of the Gamescom stuff, they had talked about Tales of Arise.
Hell yeah, dude.
So
I've been
when
seeing
I
some
saw
videos
that,
on that,
I was like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and download that. So boom, I downloaded that. I downloaded Marvel's Revolution.
That was the phone game, right?
That was a mobile game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna try a couple of these things, especially since they free. See what's going on. So I'll talk about Revolution first because it's pretty quick. So I downloaded that and then I started playing it on my tablet. And then, so when I was looking at it, I got the feeling that this was gonna be something that was like made to have a controller attached to that you would be able to play. It was just on mobile.
All right.
It is not.
No controller support?
It won't even support a controller.
Wow.
I connected my PlayStation controller to it. It wanted no parts.
You have to use
with
the
it.
screen, huh?
You have to use the screen.
How lame is that?
And they do shit on the screen to make you use the screen. Like you got to do swipe here, press that, swipe there. So it's not even like fully, like
buttons.
Yeah. It's like
half Infinity Blade, half controller support, right?
Yeah, it's not even. There's no controller support.
Do you remember Infinity Blade?
Yeah, I do remember when you have to swipe and
when
swipe
you're with the
stuff,
sword or whatever. Yeah.
But they only had you do that when they were like doing the
boss.
certain scenes or whatever. You
Well,
be
the
like,
fights,
oh, it's like a cutscene, and then they want you to press the button so you can do your powerful blast from Iron Man or do a kick flip from freaking Black Widow or something like that.
It sounds cheesy, bro.
So like, I was like, damn, this is kind of ass. I was already disappointed that there was no controller support, and then you're pretty much on autopilot. Like, you don't aim, you just move, and then you have like a total of like 6 or 7 buttons on the bottom right screen. And you're always attacking. So you literally just move closer to an enemy and then it'll start attacking it. And then you have buttons that are on the sides that you can press above the main attack button.
Right.
And those are your special abilities. And you can just literally just keep pressing those. You don't even have to look at the screen and watch what you're doing. You just keep pressing shit. And it'll eventually kill everybody. That's how easy the game is fucking. So I was like, okay, this is dumbass. I don't even want any parts of it.
Funny,
so
dude.
I just cut that shit off.
Yeah, cut that off.
Then I went and I checked out Tales of Arise, the demo. So I downloaded this one on PlayStation because for some godforsaken reason I could not find it on the Xbox.
Okay.
So I went in there and I started playing it, and it's like I'm disappointed in one sense because I have to read, right? And it's not like I'm super against
lots
reading.
of text reading. It's not voice acted.
To read. Yeah, but it's so they do have voice acting, but it's only for like specific cutscenes.
That's how Tales always is.
And certain things.
It's annoying, dude.
Yeah, but I thought they would change it. You know what I
know.
mean? I thought that we would have evolved from that.
I know.
So
Hundreds of
like,
Tales it feels like, and there's not hundreds, but there's like
there's a lot of
tons
tales.
of
It's like
them.
8 tales or something. Like
yeah, it's ridiculous, you know.
So
and they still have you text read.
Right, so they still have like the text popping up and whatnot. I wasn't really interested in reading, so I'm just mashing through it all, like whatever. Which is cool because you don't have to pay attention to whatever they're talking about.
Didn't you read a little bit on Symphonia back in the day? You would read those storylines, man.
I would.
Yeah,
I
when
was
Lloyd
paying
or whatever
attention to
would like
Symphonia.
talk and stuff.
I was at the point where I was having the conversations with each of my individual characters to branch those off and get those special missions or whatever to do with those. Or the things you had to do, talk to them to unlock special abilities and stuff like that once you've gone down their chain line. Or
You
whatever.
just want, this is a demo, so
This
you just
is a
want to
demo.
play
I'm
the
just
game,
trying to see
right?
what the game is like. Yeah. So, but you know, so it's like certain things, like if you go to a campsite or whatever, you'll get like picture art, you know, like manga style, like blocks of different pictures of people, and then they're talking and having a conversation, but you still got the words or whatever in there.
Yeah.
So that's whatever.
Yeah.
But then, you know, playing the regular game or whatever, you have all the text you have to read. And then you get to certain areas where it's like actual cutscenes where there's something to watch and it's like a full-on video motion, you know, some talking or whatever. But it's like, you know, it seemed like, you know, the pretty much like the old school Tales games, you know what I mean? Like you sitting there, you hitting your buttons and your abilities and stuff like that. I did like how your items are kind of used. Like you just press a button, you pull up a tab that's got like a bunch of different options. You got your items option, you click in there, you look for what you want, and you just click it. Like you don't need a specific person to toss the item or anything like that. Like the item is just thrown into the battle, and then that person is revived or healed,
whoever you wanted it on.
Yeah,
is just
and then it's got a slight cooldown or whatever, and then you just keep using these stuff. So, you know, it's like combining all of the abilities and the attacks and stuff like that, trying to stay alive and everything. You've got like a dodge, you know. So it was cool. They give you, I think there's tons of items in the world that you can interact with, like to grab and pick up and stuff like that, and they seem to reset when you've been to like
they come back
certain cutscenes or whatever, and then everything comes back.
That's how near replica was like.
Okay.
Every time like I went to a zone and like I loaded back into the zone, the little shiny things are like already, I could pick them up over again.
Yeah.
It gets a little tedious after like, 10 hours of
you don't
it,
wanna
but
pick up as much
it's like,
stuff,
okay, enough already.
Right.
But
But this wasn't even like you had to leave the world. Like you were still in the world, but if you had like a specific cutscene, like
even the
of a
cutscene
little
will
talking,
reset
it's
it,
like
huh?
everything is there again.
Dang.
So it's like, oh shit, there's like a plethora of stuff to pick up.
That's crazy.
Like, nonstop.
Okay, that's interesting. They
But
did that.
as you go through, there's like chests, and then you find there's like I think 5 chests or 6 chests. You got a chest for like every person. So they give you at least one item upgrade option for everybody. so that you can see it. You know what I mean? And get an idea, a feel of the game. So it's a
Right.
good demo. It gives you a feel of the game, of how everything's going to go. And then you have these monsters, and when they pop up and they appear, you walk over close to them, and then your party starts talking like, oh, that guy looks big. Like, that one might be a tough one. We might have to come back later on that one. It's like, nah, fuck that. We playing this now. Like, you know what I mean? So you run up in battle and stuff like that, and then you're just trying to take them down, but they give you plenty of health. Life bottles is what they call them or whatever, revives that you can use to stay in the game. And
So
whatnot.
this game's 2 weeks away, man. How do you feel on it? Is this a get?
No.
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 Is it a
I'd
get
say
ever?
It is a get.
Like
yeah,
when
a
it's
get
like
at
$20
some point.
next summer?
Right, it's a get
Okay.
at some point.
All right.
But it's not anything that's on my like immediate gotta have list right now.
Okay.
Especially with Deathloop and Kenna coming out, within a short breaths away. So
Yeah, we have a few
It's
games
not-
next month.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those things that like, oh, I'll peep it, hopefully it comes to Game Pass or something like that, and then and I'll really give it a try then.
Right.
But I might try to catch it on the sale or something like that, maybe closer towards like Christmas sale or like a Thanksgiving sale, New Year's sale type
Right.
shit, something like that or whatever. So yeah, it was
Yeah, and I just want to
checking those two
mention
out.
Psychonauts 2 and 12 Minutes. Those are both Game Pass games.
Okay, yeah.
So cost you nothing if you got Game Pass.
Right, yeah, I definitely I knew Psychonauts was coming out, but I couldn't remember what date, and I didn't
Yeah.
pay attention to when they showcased it at Gamescom because I just skipped past it. I know
Yeah,
about it,
I don't want to see a game I already know about, right?
Right,
Yeah, I
right,
agree.
yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of like that too. I
Yes.
focused in on the games that I hadn't seen yet, right? It's
Right,
like,
right. Yeah, so that was about it. That's all I really played. I didn't even play any BDO this week.
Yeah.
Because I was just doing.
Sounds cool. You got some pretty cool things
chest
there.
building and stuff like that.
Yeah, you
But I
played
definitely
Tiles of
saw-
Arise. I didn't even know they had a demo. I mean, you mentioned it, but I didn't even realize they were doing something like that.
Oh yeah.
I feel like games are really confident when they have a demo.
Right, they done.
Yeah.
They passed the gold
Right.
stage. They had platinum or
Right.
whatever. You know.
Yeah, I just feel like
They
they're
ready to
very
release it
confident
today.
this isn't going to be ruining your experience, right? Or souring you, right, from wanting to get it. Like, they're
Right.
very confident. It's
And I'm-
polished and everything.
I'm pretty sure you're not starting the game off with 7 characters.
No,
Like, you had a
that was
grip of
probably-
characters.
yeah, that was
So
probably
that's
late in the
mid,
game,
Probably
yeah.
game or something like that.
Right. Right.
Just to give you an idea of it, but yeah. So I mean, if you're definitely into the Tales games, like that's just another solid one out of the series.
I think so.
You know what
I think it's a
don't
good
think
one. It's a play at some point in your life game,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just nothing like they didn't reinvent the game or anything like that. They didn't like reboot it. They didn't change like drastically how the game works.
It's like
And it's
Pokemon,
been
man.
years
The
since I
Tales
played a Tales
games
game, and I still
are
remember
like-
how Tales games were played. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the Tales games are like the Pokemon games.
Right.
They just rehash the same exact thing because they know they always sell, regardless of what changes they make to them. You know?
Yeah, and it's just the story and the people.
I will
but
say, that
That's different. That's
I
always
think there have
different.
been some Tales games that are better than others, and I wish they would focus in on that formula because they kind of do like minor tweaks every time around.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's the same thing. I wish they would focus in on, like, for instance, Tales of Symphonia. That was, like, in my opinion, the
That's-
greatest Tales ever made.
That's the last Tales that I played. Besides, this
I
Arise
played Tales of Symphonia 2, actually,
demo. Okay.
and I played Tales of Berseria,
I didn't.
but I
play
never
Berseria.
finished it
Okay.
because they're very long. They're like
long.
80-hour games. These things are, like, super long.
These are almost. I feel like they're almost the equivalent of like Final Fantasy,
Yes.
like in length.
They're similar in length.
And
yeah.
they've got that longevity. Like I don't know. They don't put numbers
Right.
behind their tales, but it's a lot of fucking tales, man.
Yeah.
They tell.
There's a
stories all
lot,
the
dude. I
time.
can't. I feel like every time there's always a new one coming out, like every year.
Yeah, and they got them on mobile. I think they got 1 or 2 tales on mobile. I think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they've had these tales throughout all these consoles and stuff like that. But Symphonia was the last one I played, and it was one of my favorite. No. I'm thinking of Grandia. Also, that
Tales
was
of
another
Symphonia
good
was great. Grandia is its own separate
game.
thing.
Yeah, Grandia is separate. But I was.
But
thinking,
Tales of Symphonia was like super, super good.
Yeah.
Probably like maybe top 20 all time for me. It's a really great game. I love it so much, and they seem to have never done it again. I don't know why, because Tales of Berseria, like some of the other one, Tales of Vesperia, they're never like similar to Tales of Symphonia for some reason. I don't know why, but they just decided to never go back to that formula again.
Yeah.
And I was hoping this one, Tales of Arise, would kind of go back to that formula, but it sounds like there's some of it from that Tales of Sony, some of it from like the other Tales games, and they didn't just commit, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, you still got the, the little battle arena area that you'll come in and then you start
free
doing
roam and move.
But it's literally as if like a dome shield popped up in your location that you're at. You know what I mean? And just encased you in the area to battle that person or that creature or whatever. So, I like that instead of like transporting
a cutscene
me to
and
some,
stuff.
Like, weird
Yeah, that is a cool idea.
The area, you know what
it's
I mean?
a little bit more streamlined.
Give me the actual area that I'm in.
Yeah.
Make it seem real, or whatever. But yeah, so that's all I've been playing. But enough of that shit. Ray, go ahead and give us the quick shots, man.
Quick shots for the week. The first one we got is Assassin's Creed Odyssey finally gets a 60 FPS update.
Okay, I heard that one.
So, as I said before, this Sailing in the High Seas Across the Greek Isles is one of my favorite AC games of all time. Probably my second favorite. I really, really like it. I rave about it all the time. So if you can find a deal on this, now's the time to jump in. I'm even a little jealous of you because you get to play it in 60 FPS and I didn't.
But it's still long as shit. Like
it's a long game. It's a long game.
Valhalla,
it feels way better than Valhalla though, in the sense of like the gear collection and stuff. Like you really enjoy everything you're doing. Like whenever you go and do an assassination on a hit, one of the cult members, you get a piece of gear, legendary gear.
Yeah.
So you're really like having fun hunting them all down. You're really wanting to find the clues because you get legendary gear every time. Valhalla doesn't have that. When you can go do the animal hunts. In Valhalla, you don't get like anything for it. Yeah. In this game, you get a legendary piece of gear. So you're collecting the sets too, and these are like sets, so legendary sets. They're all unique and different. And so I had a blast, man. Like I think the formula is so much better in Odyssey versus Valhalla.
Yeah.
I really like Valhalla, the world, the exploration, the combat. There's lots of things I like about Valhalla. The lack of reward, though, for gear, because once you have a set you like, you just keep upgrading it. I get that. I get the rationale behind that because you want players to feel like their gear comes with them. Yeah. You're not replacing it. I get that feeling. But it sucks a lot of the fun out of the gear chase. And that's one of the funnest things that I enjoyed about the previous two installments.
Yeah, the majority of your loot is just resources.
It's just resources, that's not fun, right?
I mean, you have like those special little icons that are on the map that tell you like, oh, there's some assassin gear or something like that. There's like an armor piece here or whatever. But yeah, when you're raiding a village or something like that, you're only getting resources, for the most part. You might be lucky to get an item every now.
You're not getting anything that's new and fun and exciting. Yeah. And so that's why I think Odyssey is just much better than Valhalla. So while they're both massive, like you said, epics, Valhalla just does it better, right? So Valhalla is super sweet. And I see that on sale all the time.
Or Odyssey?
Sorry, Odyssey. I see that on sale all the time for like $10, $14. Like really cheap, man. You can get Odyssey like really cheap, Yeah. And it's a free 60 upgrade. So get that game. Among Us is going to be launching their first merchandise line exclusively through GameStop. So if you're looking,
talking about clothes?
We're talking about like their own like dolls, plush dolls, like physical things.
There's so many other people that have created those dolls for them.
Yeah, I know, but this is like from them now, and you can get it at GameStop if you want it. Official merch, yeah.
You want that official tag?
You want that official tag.
Or you take your ass to Etsy, and you can get a whole lot of shit looking like Among Us.
I don't even know if y'all are still playing this game, but
it's been a while since I've played Among Us.
They got some GameStop exclusive stuff now.
That's cool.
The PS4 exclusive Wild, which was revealed back in 2014 as an open-world animal possession survival game, funded by Sony as a second-party studio release, hasn't been seen in over 6 years. And over this last week, it has officially been canceled. I remember seeing this game revealed and thinking it was kind of interesting. It was kind of cool possessing the eagle or hawk or whatever it is and looking over the land, collecting resources. It looked like it was a pretty decently graphically intensive game. But there's nothing so great here about this game that I could care if it's being canceled or not. So this news doesn't make me sad in any way. Do you remember that game, Wild?
Nah.
You don't remember it? Yeah. So if you were looking forward to that game, I'm sorry. It has been officially canceled. The next piece of quick shot news is Gearbox Entertainment has announced they have opened a new studio based in Montreal. This is via PlayStation Lifestyle.
Gearbox, huh?
Gearbox veterans Sebastian and Pierre-Andre will lead the new studio, which will be made up of 250 staff members.
Okay.
Casey and Derry previously worked together at Gearbox Quebec.
We don't call that indie, though, right?
That, I think, is just barely outside of indie, but it's close, dude.
I mean, because it's Gearbox.
Because it's Gearbox. It's close.
Yeah.
My first thought when I saw this news is, really? I mean, is
Why?
Gearbox, like, that big? They have, like, one game, I think. Borderlands. Like, the other games weren't that great. Tribes of Midgard wasn't that great. It's okay. It's good. It's not great, though. Like...
Gearbox had, what's the one game that you bought? The PS5 release. Wasn't that Gearbox?
Tribes of Midgard.
No. The one that came out when the console... Godfall.
Yes.
Wasn't that Gearbox?
That was Gearbox.
Yeah.
Not good. I don't know, man. Like, they think they're big. They're a big deal, man. Open a second whole studio.
Or man's just wanted to leave and do his own shit
Maybe.
instead of getting stuck under that. And Gearbox was like, you know what?
Let's just start a new
We
studio.
can go,
yeah.
but if you try to lead this company, you got this non-compete that you got to deal with, or you could just branch off and do your own shit.
250 is a big staff, dude. Like, it's
solid staff.
It's
yeah,
probably
for sure.
like right in the limbo between AAA and indie, AA. But that's a lot, and like
I think
I'm
what's
wondering,
gonna
does
matter is how much
Borderlands
money they got
fund all
behind
that? I mean, that's crazy to
it.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I got to find
guess.
out how much money is going behind it.
Right,
Because
me
that's
too.
really going to tell you what's indie and what's not.
Right. Money
They got a
and
lot of money
staff,
back
right?
behind it.
That's really the main difference is like how much money and staff does a studio have that make them blockbuster hits.
Yeah, but I feel like even if you had a small staff and you just outsourced for certain things, you could still probably get it done if you had the money for it.
Well, yeah.
But
It has to be considered blockbuster level selling game
right.
for it to be AAA, and that usually is money.
Yeah.
So money is the main, from what I can understand, money is the main thing we use to determine if a game's AAA or not.
Cream.
Cream, yeah, that's the main thing. So if you're a Gearbox fan, you should be excited about this. I just think that it's not necessary. I don't think they've produced enough great games to warrant another studio.
I don't know, man. I think that Borderlands badge is like an all access pass. Like
That's a big game. I
them,
agree.
you know what I
but
mean? But are they big enough that they
That's
can
what I'm
just
saying.
have like another branch
Right.
of their shit? I don't think so.
them trying to turn into Bethesda or something, it's like, I don't know.
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah,
for that.
I know. But I'm just saying, it seems like they're trying to branch out here and get a
Yeah.
whole another studio.
Right.
Like, that's a big studio for your second studio.
Yeah.
And then the last bit of news I have here is there's a video floating around the internet right now by a YouTube channel named Coding Secrets, which is making the claim that Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is not something that could only be done on a PS5. He goes into detail about how he was able to do something similar on a PS3. When Rift came out, we had commented on how we felt the whole Rift thing didn't seem hard to do on a last-gen console. You can make false rooms. When he was jumping through rifts, we were like, that could just be a cutscene, to be honest, because it's so scripted that it doesn't really matter. So this video, in a lot of ways, just kind of proves what we were saying earlier. Check it out. Look up Coding Secrets and watch what he has to say about this whole debacle. And it's interesting because people are looking at it and wondering if Insomniac or Sony lied, because in their trailer they said can only be done on a PS5.
Right.
And this guy's basically proving them wrong. And so it's making the rounds. So do you think Sony was lying? Were they fudging the truth? Were they just in what capacity do they mean? Do they mean graphically and this together? It can only be done on the PS5. What do you think?
Well, I know before when we had talked about Ratchet & Clank and we were talking about how good it was, I think I brought up the fact that, it did seem like some of these areas were kind of on rails when they shouldn't have been.
Right.
It seemed like if the portal is open, and this is a game that
Give me
you're
a
truly
choice,
saying that
right?
each one,
There's a
that
new
each
whole
of these
world.
portals is a world, I should be able to jump into that portal and then do something. Now, granted, you're mid-boss fight or something like that, and there's a portal opens up. Maybe you don't want to cut that boss fight short, but who's to say I can't just jump through the portal and cut and end the boss fight?
Right.
I got to get back, right?
Right.
So if there's only one way out of that portal, and that's back to the boss fight, maybe I'm able to mid-boss fight, dip out. They got health in that room. I go and clean up health in that portal, and then come back out fully charged and ready to go again. I would like the option for that.
Right.
Going into these other worlds, where there's openings, is just like another doorway or whatever.
That's how I always felt.
Now,
that could be a secret room as far as I'm concerned.
Right, but at the same time, the game is beautiful.
Yes.
And it plays
probably one of the
awesome.
best looking games I've ever seen.
And it plays awesome. So,
yes, very polished.
We're definitely not shitting on the game, but we're definitely saying that there could have been more to it for the way they were explaining it.
I
because
agree.
If you're telling me that this is a whole full world that I'm going through, let me jump off the back of the dragon in the middle of that montage or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me jump off, or if I'm supposed to be falling through, let me hook onto something and slide over here, and then I can keep investigating.
Maybe there's something I can collect there, right?
Yeah.
It's just, I totally agree.
Leave it a little bit more unscripted.
I think that was like one of our only complaints when we were reviewing the game, that we didn't feel like it was that special. It was a little more gimmicky than like unique, right? Like, I felt like this could have been done on another system, in my opinion, with some tricks. It would take some tricks. The PS5 made it easier. I admit that. I'm sure the PS5 made this way easier to do.
Probably with load times or something.
Right, it made it way easier to do this, but I just believe that there are other tricks you could have done, especially with what you gave us. Had it been like you're saying, which we didn't really know. I think we didn't really know until we got our hands on the game how the Rift thing would play out. Right. And when we found out that it's more just like a cutscene, you can move a little bit, but then you jump to the next cutscene. It's like, really, you could have just made this, to be honest, you could have just made this an actual cutscene and just made it a video.
True.
And it wouldn't have mattered much. We were really hoping and praying, right? Like, how dope would it be if I could move between worlds seamlessly and explore them seamlessly without, like, cutscenes? And we didn't get that. And so it did feel a little bit like we weren't quite sold the bag of goods that we were told we were going to get. But at the same time, I loved the game so much, because I raved about it,
right,
that I don't care, because it was, because
okay.
It's like, whatever. They gave me a great game. I can't complain, right? And so that's where I'm at on it. But it's an interesting video to check out at the very least. Coding Secrets.
Okay.
And that's the QuickShots.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so since that's the end of the QuickShots, let's go ahead and start with the main topics. So the first one we got, Game Cloud and the console, right? So Xbox Game Cloud has been around for a while. I think it's still in beta. And, as I've said previous times before, like, I think it's ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think it's good at all. I feel like it's not ready yet, which is probably the reason why it's still in beta. Before, I think like maybe a month or so ago, we had heard that there was going to be a usage of trying to put this on a console. And, when we talked about it before, and you could probably go back to the previous podcast or whatever, we talked about how useful that would be if they're able to get it to work as far as the console's concerned, because now it makes it more of a viable purchase, right? If you've already got Game Pass and you've got the Series S instead of the X, because you're getting like less hard drive space, a lot less hard drive space. But if you're able to play with the cloud perfectly, seamlessly, then it doesn't even matter anymore, because you no longer have to download these games. You literally just start and go. And then your save is saved to like your profile or whatever. Yep. And if later on you want to actually download the game to your console, then you're more than welcome to. But you don't have to, which would be a nice upgrade for Game Pass.
I agree. That was one of the points I was going to make. Two things I'm going to say. The first thing is exactly what you said. I think this is actually really good news for Xbox Series S owners. Yes, there is some convenience for a Series X owner, but to be honest, it's not worth it, I don't think. I think just download it. Mm-hmm. You have a lot more space to work with. But if you're a Series S owner, this is dope. Another aspect is you can kind of demo a game, like maybe just like play it. You don't have to download the whole thing and see if you want to waste your time with it and just kind of check it out. And the other cool thing is that I will say that is more of a benefit for Series X owners and Series S, but a real benefit for Series X owners is PC games. You can like play some of the games that you probably couldn't normally play on your Xbox Series X now through the cloud. Right. And so that's kind of neat. The problem is, like you already mentioned, and like we've mentioned before, is how, viable, and playable is this cloud going to be when I'm playing it? Yeah. Is it going to be choppy? Is there going to be glitches? Is there going to be latency? Between moving my stick and pressing a button and seeing the guy attack. Right. It's like, damn, I pressed that already, attack, right? And like all those frustrations that come with cloud gaming. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a good idea. And I think if you're a Series S owner in particular, you should be really happy. Because, you have no space. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of games you want to play. Yeah. And you're just like, cool, I can just click play now. And like if you go to the site and we're looking at it right now, it is that easy. You find a game you want that's on cloud gaming and just click play. Yeah. And you just instantly play it. Right. So you don't have to download it. You don't have to. So it is interesting. I might try it out and just give you guys maybe both of us can try it out to see if it plays any better on the Xbox console itself.
Now, has it
rather than my phone?
Is it on the console now, or will it come out in the future?
That is a good question. I was looking to see if they have the release date, and I'm not seeing it in this article here. Yeah. But I believe it's supposed to be, if not soon, now. It just says it's comes. So that we're bringing cloud gaming to Xbox Series S. Oh, this holiday.
This holiday. All right.
So look for it in probably December. Right. Maybe it will launch alongside Halo. Maybe that's what they're planning to do there. But what?
Motherfucking Halo, man.
I know, right? Yeah, we're gonna get to Halo. Right. We're gonna get to Halo.
But so
that's cool.
The cloud gaming. I look forward to seeing if they'll actually go live with it and what they consider that to be, because I know how ass the beta's been, and if they haven't done any improvements, before they make this live.
The only thing I will say, reason why I mentioned the console base, is I actually have the ability to hardwire it, and maybe that will help with latencies. Versus like my phone or iPad, when we're only connecting to the servers 1,000 miles away through wireless. Maybe if I'm hardwired in with my Xbox, maybe this xCloud will work a little better.
And technically, if you're able to get the xCloud to work really nice on your console, right? You could essentially do like a daisy chain of effects, right? You could log in through your iPad in a different room or something like that. Do remote play on your console, and then go into xCloud from your console. And then hopefully
remote play the xCloud on your tablet. Right. Yeah. And so you're using the hardwired connection to give yourself a better link to the cloud. Right. And then using your remote that works smoothly to play it. Else, and that way you can play quickly.
So who knows if you'll actually be able to do that? Like what kind of limitations there'll be on that?
Yeah. But, you probably could actually. You probably could actually.
Yeah. It should. Hopefully it should be pretty smooth. But I think this will be. I think if you're right about the Ethernet cable, hard wiring it to the internet might make it run smoother. If that's the case, then this will definitely change the way you look at an Xbox Series S
and Game Pass.
If you have
and S, right. Yes,
and
it becomes a more viable purchase for sure.
Right, and I would be curious to see if something like New World isn't available. For the Xbox, for PC or whatever.
That'd be so sick.
Like if you're able to do that and you're able to play, like you said, a PC game on your console through the cloud, like that would be really nice. You know what I mean? Play New World through the cloud. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you're just playing it on your Xbox. Like,
I think that's what's the cool thing about this is it gives us kind of like access to potentially a library that we never had before. Right. Which excites me the most for being a Series X owner.
Yeah, I mean, and if I had to. Let's say utilize my keyboard and mouse. You know what I mean? Plug it up to my Xbox. Like, I have that option. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I can still play a PC game while sitting on my couch if I got my keyboard and my mouse.
Right.
You know, because I don't have a decent PC. You know, so I can't
know.
play PC games. So there's some that I would like to play, but I don't have that opportunity.
Right.
So if this would allow me to do that just by playing remotely,
Would be
then
dope, right?
I would be all for it. Yeah.
Your Xbox Series becomes your PC.
Right.
That's what I want it to be. Which is why we were so excited about the Steam Deck, because that's what I just wish the Xbox was.
Yeah.
Lets us play all those PC games.
For sure.
How sick would that be? So if this gives us that access, then now you don't need to buy a PC because your X is your PC.
Yeah, you're a little bit closer.
And you can use your Macs or whatever for your day-to-day grind, you know? So we'll see. I'm going to give it a shot. Well, we have a few months before it's out, but I'm going to give it a shot for sure.
Yeah, for sure. As soon as it comes out, you know, we'll try to check out
Give some
a
tests.
game or something like that, and then maybe do like multiplayer on it and see how it goes.
Even multiplayer. We should see how well that works. Yeah.
You know. But on to the next topic. DokeV.
DokeV?
It was one of those games that were shown in GamesCom, and I was like totally surprised by it, right? Like when I first saw it, you know, and we talked about it before, like I was kind of looking at it and I was like, okay, what is this? I'm thinking it's like, you know, like on some Dance Dance Revolution type shit or something like that. Like it just like looks like a weird quirky game.
I know, right?
You know what I mean? Little kids running around and stuff. But then I started watching what they were doing, and they're like, you know, the skateboards, the freaking roller skates that they're using, the umbrella that they're flying with, you know, all the jetpack and all this stuff, like all these like weird little things that these people have.
We'll have to have that trailer playing, man.
And it's yeah, I'm gonna try
so
to remember
cool.
to put the trailer up on here, but you know that all those things that they're doing, and then you see these little creatures and stuff like that. You're trying to, you know, figure out what's like going on and stuff. But the one thing that was hitting my mind the whole time while I was watching it was like, damn, this shit looks like really nice. Like as far as like graphics are concerned,
Yeah.
like some stuff looked like real in a sense, you know, like the world or whatever. And you know, when you're looking at the characters, they just looked like really, you know, like they looked really good. But how'd you feel about it?
Yeah, so when I first saw the trailer, man, I'm not gonna lie, like I thought it was like a toddler
shit?
game, right? Like I thought it was for kids.
Yeah.
You know, because it starts off with, you know, the kids are at school and they're like playing patty cake or whatever, and then they're doing like Ring Around the Rosie, and then like he's riding his bike, you know, and then his skateboard. I'm like, oh, this is cool for kids, you know, but they slowly lay it on you, like, and then I saw, you know, him gliding through the sky.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck?
This is like flying.
And then like the more and more I see him in the air, you're getting an aerial shot of the world. And I'm like, snap,
Vast.
dude, that is a pretty looking world. And it was massive. And I'm like, what in the world, man? Like, what is someone making here? Like, is this GTA for kids? I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And then you start seeing the combat and these explosions. And they're so pretty. And like
They're like fireworks and
smooth.
shit. Yeah.
And just like shockingly beautiful. And I'm just like, dude, this is low-key pulling me in. And then I see like little dudes like Pokemon following me around and like helping me in combat.
Right.
And I'm pulling out these massive hammers and I'm throwing explosions. I'm like, those powers look cool.
Right.
And then I see like the big alligator creature that like attacked me. I'm like, that's a legitimate boss fight.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, what is this game?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is like something I'd never seen before. And then I see him like traveling on the coast in the air, flying. He's doing like quadruple jumps.
Yeah,
and like
man.
they're
He
skateboarding.
never landed.
And I'm like, this is looking really neat. And I almost started to completely forget that I'm a 9-year-old. You know, like this looks like a lot of fun. And I saw the one instance towards the end when like you're capturing the minion. It's like sucking it in.
Right.
And you're like, you capture, you're like, yeah. And it's just like, this seems like the Pokemon we all wanted when we've been talking the last weeks.
At least what we
that
wanted.
we wish Nintendo would do. Shout out to Brahms, right? He was saying like,
Right.
this is what we want.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is it. not just like gameplay wise, but graphically. Like when I was saying, I want like really cool animations instead of just like a 3 swipes across the screen. Give me something dope. Like these are supposed to be powerful
creatures.
creatures.
Them actually get hit and shit.
Yes, and actually get hit and of sweet animation. I'm like, this is so cool, and it's like live action in the world. Like people were running around screaming. Right, like the civilians.
Yeah.
Because like the battle is happening like in real time, like kind
Right.
of like what you were mentioning. Like it should be real.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be like this thing where like all of a sudden it disappears and like it's this cutscene. This actually happened. That Pokemon is actually dead on the street, right? And it's like, I gotta say, this is one reason why we pulled it out for its own separate segment. This is probably the coolest thing that I saw
through GamesCom.
At
right?
GamesCom this year, and there were some other cool things I liked at GamesCom, but
For
this
sure.
was dope.
Yeah.
Dope AF.
It was pretty.
Like it was cool, dude. I can't wait to find out more. You said it is coming to console, which is my dream that this game is on console. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Now I'm just waiting for a date. Give me a release date.
For sure. I mean, like I was so like interested in it, and then I'm just like, I know I don't watch everything, right? I can't be on top of everything that comes
Right.
across as far as like game news and stuff like that. But like I'm just like, how did I miss this? Like where was this showcased at that I just missed this game?
I don't think it's
like,
been
couldn't have-
showcased. I think it's
it
the
couldn't
first
have
time.
come out. Well, apparently there was something that was done, I think, a year ago. It was like another one of those damn conventions, because GamesCom is like a Germany type of convention thing. But there was like another one of these conventions where it was introduced, and these
Just some obscure one?
Pearl Abyss is the same people who did BDO.
Black Desert,
So
yeah.
this is a massive multiplayer online game that they're creating here. But basically, I was like, okay, let me find out more about this. Let me see if they even have like a YouTube channel or something like that, So I was just trying to look and see if they had like more in-depth conversation of the game, and then I saw, oh, there's a DokeV YouTube channel. So I clicked on the link.
That's cool.
And then I went to it and I saw a video of the producer or the director of the game
Talking about
going
it.
and talking about it, and then presenting it for maybe the first time or whatever. And they were basically, it was like this video that was basically saying like the idea behind the game. And so
It evolved a lot.
yeah, it has. It has evolved
Yeah.
a lot. But basically, this started because this guy wanted to have a game that he could possibly play with his kids, but that it wasn't so kiddie that an adult wouldn't want to play with it. You know what I mean?
He
Like when
nailed
you look
it.
at these kids games, you're just like, dude, that's like so easy and kiddish or whatever. Like
Right.
I wouldn't get any enjoyment. But it was trying to like merge those two together. That's why you kind of see in the video there's like kids doing
Dude.
like London bridges,
Dude,
and
bro,
around the Rosie
the
and
part,
stuff.
dude, when she's flying in the air, right, and like shooting stuff and like moving
Right.
back, that is so sick.
It's like remind me of Iron Man.
Yeah,
Stuff like that,
or like Anthem, like, but it's
Yeah.
like, it looks well done. Like if you look at it,
Mm-hmm.
the movement looks polished. It just looks so well done, dude. Like, I'm
Yeah.
blown away. Nothing, it seems like in this life, man, you can't motivate a man more than if it's for his kids. Right? Like, if it's for his kids, now you're going to get something really special.
Yeah,
Because
for
he wants
sure.
it for his kids, so it's going to be dang special. And look at what he's making.
Yeah.
It's
and so
sick.
when I was watching another video because I was trying to figure out like what the monsters were and different things like that.
Mhm.
And it seems like these monsters or whatever, these Pokemon-like monsters, are in the world, but they're just not visible to the regular eye.
Right.
And you need these glasses, which I think every kid that
So
was on there
beautiful.
was wearing
It's
glasses,
crazy.
but it's almost like an AR or something
see.
like that gives you access to see what's behind the curtain.
And that's how they're flying and stuff.
Yeah. So they've got like, they're able to put these glasses on or whatever, at least in this one video. And that was like, they were just appearing out of nowhere. I mean, and some of these other video clips, they're not really wearing glasses. So I don't know if that theory has changed or whatever.
Right.
Updated. But yeah, I mean, they're in there. The people react to the creatures, so they all see them.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
the civilians and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but this just like, I'm definitely wanting to see more. The guy said that he really loved Ghostbusters. So that's
is
kind
like
of why
that.
you have that big ass.
I was
backpack,
showing you how it like
and
sucking
you were
them
sucking
in.
up the thing.
Yeah, and you had like a
it's
little trap,
Ghostbusters
a little
related.
trap you threw out, and you saw it suck in, and they're like, "Yeah, caught
Right.
it." It's like
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, so it's got a little bit of that involved, and they had to have some kind of love for Pokemon in this or something.
Well,
like
they're kind of even
but-
copying instead of Poke, it's Doke,
Doke,
and then
yeah.
Pokemon DokeV.
Yeah.
Like clearly, this guy's trying to capitalize. And like I said before, in my opinion, this is the direction I've always wanted Pokemon to go. And so,
Yeah.
man, I hope it's soon.
So I mean, I'm definitely
What, 2023 or 2022? 2022 is so stacked, man.
It could be 2023, but
I can wait,
I wouldn't.
guess.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if it was next year.
I
that it
know.
was coming out. You
It's
know what
so
I mean?
cool,
it seems
man.
like they have a lot done,
It
and they've been
does
working
seem-
on it for a while.
Doesn't it seem
So-
polished and almost completed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I
But-
agree. I thought the same thing.
I mean, I'm interested to see like how simplistic the controls are, or if they're too simplistic or whatever. You know, I want to see like how this works and how the multiplayer works, and if there's PvP or it's all just PvE and you just gang up with people and do stuff or what. You know what I mean?
Just
So,
go with the buddy.
yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more. I subscribe to the DokeV channel.
So this
just
is-
to be updated.
This was the world premiere gameplay.
Yeah,
So this is the first time they revealed the gameplay.
which is cool.
Yeah, which blew me away.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many different things on here, and it seemed like it's real. They're really into customization
Yeah.
on here, so there was a lot of options and whatnot to
Skins, everything. Yeah, really
skins,
big.
the clothes,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
They're going to make something special here, I think, man.
Yeah, so
in
I
my
mean,
opinion.
I was definitely stoked about this one, and I can't wait to see more of it. Like this was probably like the best one that I saw.
It's really
That like
neat.
really had me like, damn, like what is this game? You know what I mean? Like all of the animation, all of that stuff. Like it was just
Yeah,
dope.
it took me by surprise because, like I said, it started off strange,
Yeah.
and then when I started, like, I couldn't get enough of it. Like,
Yeah.
I was just blown away by the combat and how pretty it looked, and the movement, the flying, the car. I mean, everything. The floating,
yeah,
gliding.
changing from to the different vehicles and stuff like that.
You had like mounts. I mean, you had like so many things, minions to collect, and they were like fighting with you. I couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah,
So cool.
for sure, man. But yeah, so since we were mentioning Gamescom and stuff like that, let's go ahead and start talking about some of the things in Gamescom. We're not gonna go over everything, but at least a good majority of the Gamescom stuff. I mean, they showed a lot, right? So just to name some of the stuff, just going down like the lineup of the things that were. I mean, they gave us a new Saints Row. We had definitely been complaining about GTA and like how long we'd have to wait for a new GTA and things like that. And Saints Row is an alternate version of GTA. Granted, it's on the other side of things. GTA tries to go more real,
Right.
but crazy, and Saints Row is just like it's not real at all. They just wild.
It's one of those
wild.
crime, cars in a city game. But yeah, it's not as polished. But what frustrated me about this was they gave us no gameplay, dude. Like, they just gave us a reveal trailer,
Right.
and it's like, darn it, like, it's coming out in February, and you give us no gameplay. That's just bizarre to me. It's
So
like 6 months away, and you gave us not even flashes of it. Like, for instance, in Vanguard, they gave us trailers, and then they gave us, like, we actually got a Vanguard gameplay, which we'll have to talk about that.
right.
But in the reveal trailer, they showed flashes of gameplay.
Right.
We didn't even get, like, flashes here.
But
How did you feel about that?
I think did they say when was the release date on this?
February 25th.
February 25th.
Next year, so 6
Damn,
months,
another
dude.
2022 one.
Yeah.
So I feel like they didn't give us a lot right now because they just wanted to like introduce it, and I think that they'll probably have like their own stuff where it's like little announcement things where they should start rolling things out.
This just feels like it feels like a game.
Sire, go back. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm still recording, buddy. What were you saying?
Podcast bomb.
Yeah, I'll just leave that in there.
But I was saying that with the Saints Row, gosh, can't even remember now what I was saying. I guess I was primarily what I'm trying to say is I wanted to see gameplay because it feels so late. This feels like a trailer that they would reveal last year. So like a trailer you revealed in 2020. This is the kind of thing, right? Like I would expect to see in 2020, just a cinematic reveal.
Right.
And then this year, like right now, you reveal gameplay, and then it comes out in 6 months, and you talk about it more throughout the next month as you're getting closer.
Yeah.
This feels like they're going to cram a lot into a short period of time.
Which I'm okay with that as well, because there's been numerous times where we know about a game and then we don't hear about anything or get any updates from it, for like 3 years. You know what I mean? So I don't mind like just hearing about it and then it's coming out like really soon next year. And then we just start getting floods of, of information like gameplay, multiplayer, blah, 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 whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like each month as it gets closer to it, as like a roll.
Yeah, I
don't mind that.
Yeah, like I'm not saying necessarily it's like gonna fail because of it. I'm just saying like timeline wise. I mean, I think we were all a little bit annoyed when they first announced God of War Ragnarok and they said it was coming out this year.
Yeah.
And they gave us only a freaking emblem. Like they didn't give us anything.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us are like, well, damn, if the game is ready to come out next year, you'd think they'd have something to show. And like I feel like the same way with this, and this is even in a sense worse because it's like less than a year. It's like 6 months, 6 to 7 months away, and you didn't show anything yet. But yes, I do know at some point in time they're going to give us gameplay. Yeah. It's just an interesting timeline to me that doesn't really follow what I would expect to occur.
Right.
With the revealing a game like this. This is a big one to reveal.
Yeah. So I mean, I was definitely looking forward to playing another Saints Row. Kind of getting away from the radical crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And just
back to like the roots,
core,
right?
Yeah,
back to
like
the roots.
Saints Row 1 type thing. And this is theoretically like
a reboot. It's not Saints Row 4. Yeah, it's a reboot. To completely redo the game, yeah.
Which is interesting because there was a lot of mixed feelings about it. On the IGN video or whatever that they were previewing this, because they show all the Gamescom stuff or whatever. People kept complaining about like, oh, this is hipsters trying to start a gang or something like that. This ain't Saints Row.
It kind of is.
Stuff like
it kind of is.
But I just thought it was like a different take. I mean, regardless of the reason why you start a gang, right? There has to be a reason for them to be able to maintain the gang, right? I think you could start a gang with, but if you start messing with big players, you'd probably get killed pretty quickly, and your gang would be up. So if it looked like you had like a person that
there's
was
factions, right?
Really,
it looks like
really
factions
smart.
Kind of thing, like different gangs in the city.
I think there's like 3 or 4 other factions or
right.
something like that. They were saying that you had to do to take care of the city and whatnot. But it seemed like the people on the team all had their roles to play on there. I mean, you had that Daredevil,
like heavy weapons, the driver, right?
You
the
had
planner,
the sniper or whatever.
the sniper.
Yeah, you definitely had the smart guy.
So is this going to be multiplayer based? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I know there was a lot of the community was torn on whether they wanted to go back to the roots or they wanted more of the supernatural kind of off the wall stuff that Saints Row kind of turned into at the end there. Some people were torn. Some people really liked where they went with Saints Row, and some people really wanted to go back to what Saints Row was before they did that.
Right.
I'm tend to be more wanting to go back to the roots, but I know that the community was torn on that too.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. This is an interesting thing because Saints Row, it is well known to a degree, but their audience can be torn to some degrees here for its success. It's not like Dead Space where we know what we're getting.
Right.
With Saints Row, it could like go one of two directions, and it could be helpful or hurtful, depending on how they reboot it.
Yeah, and I think they'll still have some of that craziness in there, sneaking like 1 or 2,
slip
weapons
something cool
or something
in there,
like that do like ridiculousness or whatever. But I'm definitely interested to see where they're gonna take it.
Definitely, so. I'm curious, which is why I wanted to see some gameplay. I really wanted to.
Right, and I hope that they'll come out with some, in the future, in the near future. Like maybe right after Gamescom is over, then all you can talk about now is Saints Row, type shit or something.
Maybe
like
they caught the DokeV. You can't compete with that.
DokeV.
That's not
All right,
follow.
let's just show them the trailer. We'll ditch the gameplay. We'll just ditch the gameplay.
Yeah.
But another one that I was kind of surprised on seeing was Marvel's Midnight Suns. Right. This was
we
that
reported
GamesCom,
this
that game that
last
they were
year,
about
like
a
months
while
ago. We talked about the 2K XCOM game Marvel.
Right.
The one that we were expecting to see at E3.
Mm-hmm.
That was leaked, and they decided not to reveal it then.
But this doesn't seem like any of the other, Marvel's games. This seems like it's slightly different. I mean, the fact that they literally got together with Marvel and created a backstory and all of that for this character, this Hunter, I think was the name of the character, the Hunter or something. And this is your character that's in this world, right? So you style it, do with it as you want. And then you interact with the rest of your of the Marvel's characters is dope. Like, you don't have to be Captain America and go through the game, or you don't have to play as Kamala or whatever just to go through the storyline. You know what I mean? Like, this is your character, how you want it, male or female. I'm assuming, I believe.
Yeah, I'm sure you
like
choose.
however you want to work it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I think that's dope. I think that this was a game that was definitely needed.
And dude, what do you tell me about it, man?
More.
Isn't Ghost Rider dope as sick?
Ghost Rider was his, but I thought that his face looked a little.
I couldn't tell what he was at first.
Or whatever.
Yeah, he looked like Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal.
Exactly.
But dude, when he lit up his blades and he lit up his chains and his fire, I was like, that's so cool. Ghost Rider's always been dope. But at first, I wasn't like sure because it was so different from the traditional Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
If that's who it really was, or if this was like a
I wasn't.
new character.
Yeah, I was looking at him and I was like, well, his face doesn't really look like a skull. It looks kind of different. But I think that looks like Ghost Rider. Then when he burst into flames, I was like, oh,
because this got to be Ghost Rider, right? Yeah.
For sure.
Something I wanted to ask you about this. We're seeing a lot of different Marvel games, and in my opinion, they've all kind of really they're not doing well. Like Marvel Avengers that came out, with Square Enix.
Yeah, that trash ass game.
That's terrible. This
and
mobile
Square
one,
Enix, like how they fuck.
And
that
Square
up?
Enix, which I love Square Enix.
On,
they may have some of the best games they make, and you have that mobile Marvel coming out. It almost sounds.
It's out already.
It's
Revolution,
out.
that ass of a game, yeah.
But that's an ass of a game too, and part of me is like, okay, here's my thought on this. Like, clearly Disney is allowing multiple different developers, multiple different studios to pitch them,
IPs and stuff.
Pitch them ideas for their Marvel games.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, yes to this, no to that, no to that. Are they watering down the Marvel name? Like, how long will the power of the Marvel name just simply pull you in because it's Marvel? Before it's like, shit, another Marvel game? That's going to be trash, right? Like, how long before they tarnish it so badly? I don't know how I feel about it. If I'd rather just have them come out sparsely, and maybe just like the one studio doing it, like UB is doing with
Star Wars games
Galaxies of the Universe, that we that's coming out soon.
Right.
And just kind of have them come out periodically, kind of like what they were doing with Star Wars. Although I do know with Star Wars, we were all annoyed because we wanted more Star Wars games, and only I think EA had access to it, and so we weren't getting the Star Wars games we wanted, and so I think Marvel's pivoting. But dude, these games, a lot of them have been bad.
Well, I feel like they had a decent idea going with Marvel's Avengers. They just didn't execute it the way it should have been, and I think that's apparent with how long its longevity has been. It's not
right. It sucks.
I mean, they took way too long to add new characters in.
No one wants to play that game, dude.
And it's just it just hasn't worked out. So I feel like adding Revolution in there, it's like a mobile game. You know what I mean? Like, mobile games are mobile games. You're gonna have them, so it's it's whatever. So I think if they had if they kept trying to do Marvel's Avenger type games, nonstop, I think then it would pollute the waters. But I think because this game is should be completely different than Avengers, it might fare better it might succeed in separating itself from Marvel's Avengers and do a lot better. You know
what
I mean?
excites
they might have
me
a lot more room.
more about this is that it's from the XCOM developers, because they could have just announced the next XCOM game and I would have been excited. I don't think it being Marvel necessarily pulls me into what they're doing more, because I already love what they do.
Yeah.
And so I trust them. But I do know, man, we've been recently in a situation where Marvel's name is being kind of thrown through the mud by like EA, you know, I mean Square Enix, and like some of these games have been like not that great, that I worry that
thrown through the mud, meaning
thrown through the mud,
good.
right? Okay. Wasn't good, and so it hurts. It tarnishes the brand, right? Like if there's something that's a good brand and you release some ass content for it, it tarnishes how people feel about it. And I just don't want them to get so trigger happy by allowing so many games to be made in the Marvel name that it becomes, you know, damn, this is just going to be another cruddy Marvel game.
But
you know?
even if it does get to that, right? Like even if they all of the Marvels, this and that, and they start producing some shitty stuff, I think you're still gonna have a couple of solid go-tos. Like they're gonna be able to do a Miles Morales.
Spider-Man will always be great.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Spider-Man,
Yeah, Spider-Man's good. I'm talking about like these other things like with
they're gonna have some
Wolverine
staples,
and stuff. Yeah.
But it's gonna be those like, try to do every character games. They might just stop after a while.
Yeah, that might be the route that doesn't work.
We just need to go off the single characters.
Yeah.
And make
I
it
wish
like
they
that.
would do that more, actually. Because it does feel like what you're saying is right. It does feel like the whole ensemble thing is getting to be a little bit overplayed.
Bro,
but just playing as Wolverine would be dope, I think.
Dude, I would love to see a Blade game.
Even Blade. Like, a lot of these guys.
You know
what about just Iron Man? Right? Like, that'd be fun, too.
They did do that, but they did it VR, so, I mean...
I know they did it VR. I'm talking, like, Anthem style.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, do it right.
Right.
But I think what happens is, to add on to this idea, is that you have too many characters you're juggling to make great. And so it's better when you just focus in on one. You see what Insomniac did with Spider-Man? When all they had to worry about was one hero? Like, you can make him great. Right? When you're trying... Or Batman. The Batman games were incredible. Dude. When you're just focusing in like on one hero or maybe two or three, you're okay. But the whole ensemble, I think it's too hard. They take the laser route like Square Enix did with Marvel Avengers and make them all the same,
right?
But just put like a different skin on them.
Which is the one thing that I'll be worried about, but for this Midnight Suns, but the only thing that I think maybe it's saving grace
is that one character.
You have one character, your main character.
Right.
If you don't have to control any of the other characters and there's just a team to join you, but you can focus on your one guy, it might be missed that they all attack the same or whatever.
So they might be doing what we're asking.
Bringing your one character up.
Yeah.
I think like, you know, I don't really know because I didn't play it like that, but I think Marvel's Avengers, you know, the character Kamala was only used to like progress the story. I don't think she was like forced to go to every mission. You're not forced to stay. You
played at other heroes throughout the mission. It's a flawed
she's not
concept.
Really yours. So she's got the power she's got.
Right.
Maybe you got upgrades that you can get or whatever later on. But still, I just thought it was completely an ass of a game because you couldn't see the cosmetics.
It's such a flawed game in so many ways, man. Yeah. It's just flawed.
It just felt like a money grab. So
yeah.
I mean, they might eventually change that, but I feel like they would just like end up like throwing it away.
I think it's
just stop updating it.
I don't know if it's salvageable enough.
Yeah.
For a few of the reasons. I think one of the main reasons is what you mentioned before, is that because every character plays the same.
Yeah.
Like you throw with this, you throw with that. How do you fix that?
You throw with everyone.
You'd have to like overhaul the whole entire mechanic, and I don't know. I think the game is just not salvageable.
So the next one, Call of Duty Vanguard. It's been like a while since I've like played you know, one of these like Call of Duties or Battlefield or whatever, and like played the main storyline. But watching this, I was just like, damn, dude, this looks pretty interesting.
It's
like,
pretty.
It looked good. You know, the way you were climbing and you know, climbing up the walls and stuff like that and getting into different spots, and the story seemed interesting. I know I told you before that the story for Cold War looked like it was pretty good. from what I had started. I just never went back and finished it.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing this makes me want to go back and play Cold War's campaign and finish that campaign.
Okay, so
to play this.
I have some thoughts here. I agree, man. Like, here's what I feel about it. If they were just following like this one chick, like on a
full-on journey,
like Last of Us, like Uncharted, right? Like A Plague Tale's Innocence, like where you're starting and kind of finishing, and you're going through it.
Yeah.
I think this could be something special. However, and another thing too that bothers me, if it's gonna be like Cold War, I worry, because Cold War is like you come in and out of a mission. Right. So there isn't no like, solidified continuity in a story.
It's like you're rehashing memories, and then you skip forward years and different things like that. Like
exactly.
It would be cool if this was like the journey from beginning to finish. You're going through the whole
You're
time
sneaking and you're hunting and you're just surviving in Germany, trying to get out. I think that's a beautiful idea. Mm-hmm. But what I worry is, because they mentioned already the multiple characters,
like 4 or 5 different
you're going to be swapping between storylines. You're going to be like, damn, I wanted to go back to hers because it was so interesting.
Yeah.
The war-torn, Germany, looking for her dad, or whatever it may be, like really gripped me and made me want to play this as though it was like a standalone. And I'm worried that it's not going to be. And another thing that I'm worried about too, that I really wish Call of Duty would start to implement, is a little bit more RPG elements, like maybe finding upgrades, leveling up, getting a new ability, kind of like Last of Us has, or like Tales of Plague Innocence, where you finally come across the workbench,
and stuff like
new
that,
equipment, and it's like that would really grip me too, because all these are just you find a gun, you pick it up and you shoot it, and like that's all you're doing, and then the mission's over and you throw everything away and you kind of go to the next mission.
Right.
And it's like, is the gameplay alone enough to make me want to just keep doing that over and over again?
Right.
And I feel like Call of Duty is like lost in the past. I feel like where we're at today, these RPGs, gripping stories, is like where we're at and what we want. And I feel like they gave us a glimpse of that here, but I worry that it's just going to go back. It's going to
be a small glimpse.
It's going to be Cold War again, and we're going to just do the same thing. And I'm like, oh, how heartbreaking. Because what they have here in just this section is like so perfect.
Yeah.
And I wish someone would come along when they were developing this and said, hey, dude, this is so good. Just stick with it. Don't try to do all this other stuff, and add an RPG aspect to it where you're building her up, making her stronger, better.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that we'll be able to to play some of these characters, and they have like good stories, and that they're all like, it's just like one cohesive long story, but just told from different points of view. You know what I mean? Like, oh, she arrives here at this camp, and then you're moved over to a new group who's like talking or something. They see her passing by, and then they have a mission that they go to do, and they're doing that or something like that. I thought it was cool. She was walking through that little camp or whatever, that area. It just looked like they were all chilling.
The flashback, and then the bombs came.
Yeah, and then the planes just started shooting down on them and everything, and then it's just like, oh shit, you know what I mean? It seemed like you could almost run anywhere. It didn't seem like you had to specifically go to a certain point.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so
yeah, these are just I think it's harder. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see the RPG elements that I really want.
No.
And I think you're right. And it's really hard to have RPG elements when you're swapping between characters constantly. Mm-hmm. Unless you do it like Ratchet and Clank did it, where you just make sure everything carries over. Right. Everyone's the same. You're just playing a different storyline.
Right.
But maybe they can try to do a little bit more of a story that has continuity, like we're mentioning. Mm-hmm. Maybe that can be salvaged, and it's not like mission based.
Yeah.
But I want both, man. I just see this and I'm like, gosh, there's so much potential here, and their engine is just gorgeous. Every year they show a game,
looks good.
My mouth is dropped about how beautiful it looks.
Right.
And I want something awesome from them, and it's not quite there, But we'll see. We don't know everything yet, so I'm withholding my complete judgment for it. But something's got me really excited. Mm-hmm. But then I temper that excitement knowing that it's probably not going to be what I really want.
Yeah. Are you withholding your judgment for Halo Infinite?
Dude, this one's tripping me out too. Like, once again, they didn't show any campaign gameplay.
Nope.
And that's supposed to be releasing even sooner than this is like 3 months away. For
Yeah,
Saints
so-
Row is in February. This is early December.
Yeah, and I still got, we've got this little gripe, right? Because last week we reported that they were saying that, like, co-op and that type of multiplayer whatnot
Forge
wasn't going to be available
on launch.
But now we're hearing that that multiplayer that they showed and the campaign will be available this year.
Right.
In December.
Single player campaign.
Yeah, the single player campaign and stuff like that. So, I mean, all of that stuff being done or whatever, do you think this game is ready? Like, from what the little cutscene that you've seen, do you think that it's ready? I thought the cutscene was kind of cool because it showed, like, the woman and, her at a younger age. It was a cool
story.
And like, she's
but
getting
we didn't see any
rescued and
gameplay,
she
right?
joins. Nah.
So the story was an idea that how you become a super
Spartan
soldier
or something, yeah.
Because they inject you and she gets bigger. Everyone's like, how she's so small and then she becomes so big. Well, it's because you go through the super soldier program. There's like a serum, just like Captain America.
Aged.
Well, she did,
aged in this
but I mean, you see all the Spartans; they're giants. Like you see when she was walking around.
I did see,
they were
but
like
I thought that
giants.
was maybe because she was little or whatever.
Well, all the Spartans are bigger.
All
all the Spartans are like
Spartans
super
like
soldiers.
Okay.
So they're like Captain America.
Uh-huh.
When he was tiny and they injected him and he like grew and he got bigger.
Right.
Like that's what, from my understand, happens.
Okay.
But I wanted to see gameplay, and it's like interesting. Did you ever read this Reddit post about the delays from a 343 employee?
No.
You should check this out. Like, here's some of the highlights. I wouldn't be surprised if Forge came 8 months or even a year after the initial release. Forged, when they said that wasn't coming out on launch.
Yeah.
The team is overworked, pushed harder, and tired. He says, to be blunt, it's buggy. It's buggy as hell. The campaign co-op is a mess, downright unplayable, which we have no idea why.
Which is why they're not doing it, right?
Right. But there's no way in hell we're going to be allowed to delay the launch by the powers that be. The suits told us straight no. The game will ship hell or high water.
Oh, yeah? Because they know what time it is, man.
He's like, I wish we could cook the campaign a little longer. It's like, yikes, dude.
Sounds rough.
Yikes. So it sounds to me like what they really wanted to do was just launch the multiplayer this year.
Yeah.
So they give you something.
That's what it sounded like to me. It
Yeah.
sounded like the campaign wasn't going to be around for a good minute. And that they were just going to give us this multiplayer to play by itself. That was it.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
it sounded as if it was getting, like, pushed back even further.
But supposedly it's coming out on the 8th because there's no chance that the devs or the
They're
suits
not allowing it to
are
be
going to
pushed
let
back
them.
anymore. Which I feel like it's going to be another cyberpunk epidemic.
Dude.
If this happens.
Dude.
I don't think it's ready, man. And I think that people will
I
shit
agree, dude.
all over it.
They still haven't
If
shown
they
us
get it.
gameplay. What a mess.
They're afraid, man.
They're crunching over there right now. You know they're working weekends, they're working nights, because they have, what do they have?
So my question
September,
is,
October, November. 3 months, dude, to get this game done.
and September is like down the street.
Yeah, 3 full
It's
months is
here.
all
It's
these
here.
guys got.
So my question
Impossible.
to you: Do you think they launched this game without showing gameplay?
That's interesting, bro.
Because if you think about
There's
it,
no
right,
way they can, right?
if you're betting solely on the fact that it's on Game Pass, right, and that the large majority of Xbox people have Game Pass, you gotta assume that they'll all at least give it a download, right? I don't know what that
Yes,
helps.
that's
what,
true.
What benefit that helps?
That's
But
true.
if they just download the game, they've already accomplished what they wanted.
That's a
wanted
good
you to
point. They
do,
don't
was to
necessarily
download the
need
shit.
you to see the gameplay to download the game because you're going to play it. I'm going to play it.
It's free, right?
I
If
may
you got
not
Game
like
Pass.
it and I'll shut it off, but I'm going to try it like I did Psychonauts. I'm going
Right.
to give it an hour or two, see how I feel about it, if I continue or not. So, yeah, I guess they don't need to.
I mean, I would be pretty surprised because it wouldn't have
Game
happened
Pass is
before,
different,
but
Yeah, Game Pass just is different, right?
I mean,
so
you
it's
could
like,
just release something day of. Like,
could.
you announce it and, like, here's a
could.
trailer for it. Oh, it's playable today. You know what I mean? Go
you're
check
right.
it out. You
You're
know what I
right.
mean? Type shit.
Wow. Interesting. Dude, man, that's
especially if
crazy.
they're just trying to get it out there, right? Because
Dude, it's crazy. What a mess this game is.
I don't know.
This is gonna be as bad as Cyberpunk. You're probably right. As far as the debacle goes.
If that was an actual 343 employee, and that's actually how it is to this day.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean,
not
with
good,
mad
man.
bugs and stuff like that.
It's
But
not
I think
good.
Xbox would be on some high horse type shit. Like they wouldn't take it off the market. They would
No.
leave it there,
No, they wouldn't.
and you would just either deal with the bugs or not. You know?
Right, they're not gonna take it off the market, man, like Sony did.
Yeah.
Exactly, dude. They need a game.
Yeah.
They have no game,
They
know.
do.
So I
They
get
need
it.
it.
They need a game. It's desperate. They're desperate for a game. I get it. But you don't want to have another Cyberpunk situation.
I'll push Starfield. I'll push Starfield forward before I push this like that.
Can you believe that though? You launched your Xbox Series X last year, and you don't have a single game for it until 2022. They have had no launch games for their Xbox, and so it's like, I mean, they've had some junk ones. I guess you can consider Psychonauts, but that's multi-platform, you know. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so
Good
one
luck.
of the next games, Cult of the Lamb.
Kind of cool, right?
I was looking at this and I was
I
like,
know.
damn, okay, this is like a little indie game, but I was like, I'll probably play this just to see what the hell this is about.
I would too, man. This looks dope.
Because it just looked like a bunch of weird stuff, you know, but it was like a
It's got
top-down
great
shooter
art,
or
right?
something. Yeah.
This felt like, you know, Hades kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where like you have like really great artwork and you're going room to room and you're slicing and dicing, you know, and like
Yeah,
giving
another
powers.
roguelike
And
game.
another cool roguelike game. Like, I'll play this. Like, it looks really
And
cool.
I think this one comes on Game Pass, doesn't it?
I think that's what I was. I believe it does. Yeah, I believe
Okay.
they said it was Game Pass game. So
I mean,
that's a must play.
The little swords and the hats and different things like that. Like, it seemed like it'd be something that might be fun to mess around with.
It's hilarious.
So
You have like these
it's-
cats worshiping this lamb, and it's just like
yeah,
really
it's
funny.
from Devolver.
Devolver is always putting out
So
interesting
they-
things, right?
Yeah, they wild. I'm still trying to find out what's going on with that one martial arts game. I can't remember what the name of it
Sifu?
is.
No.
No. The one.
Oh.
The something 3. It was like something 3. I can't
Oh,
remember.
Shadow Warrior or whatever.
Yeah, Shadow Warrior.
Yeah,
3.
where's that at, man?
Yeah, I'm
Where
trying
did
to
that
find
go?
out where that's. Why you showing me Colt?
Where did that go, man? Like, where did that
Shadow
game
Warriors?
go? Oh yeah, this is like a. It's right. That's like it's a collection game as well. So it's like combat, like Hades, but you also like survive and collect and build.
Right, you're building a town or something.
This
like
looks
that. Yeah, a little
dope, man.
village,
I
yeah.
can't imagine why I wouldn't like this. This looks sick. So yeah, I'm excited for this one.
But I was just like, oh, okay, cool, and it kind of reminds me of Gravity Falls. You ever seen Gravity Falls? It's an anime. Not an anime.
No.
It's a cartoon.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's a cartoon that's on like I want to say Disney or whatever, but it's basically like this town called Gravity Falls, where like the weirdest shit happens or whatever, and you got 2 twins that come into the town to live with their grandpa, and the boy finds like this book, and it gives you like secrets of and information of the weird shit that goes on in there. So they got, you know, werewolves, actual gnomes, different things like that. But it's just a cartoon about, you know, weird things happening in this town or whatever. So it's a pretty good one. But it reminds me of that because there's like this all-seeing pyramid eye guy.
Okay.
That's
So I was
like
giving you
one
some
of the big
ideas.
bosses
I
or
see.
whatever. And he kind of looks like that hat with the eye on it and stuff like that. But yeah. So there was a few other ones like Midnight Fight Express, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge.
I mean,
That one looked like just an arcade version
old
of
school,
it.
the
So
same
it's
one,
cool.
remake, yeah.
Might give it a go if it ends up being on Game Pass or whatever, you know, to
Right.
check it out. You know, of course you had Demon Slayer.
Yeah, some of the development there.
Yeah, they showed some more on there. It's like I could give a fuck less about Super Monkey Ball. Like,
Dude,
you know what I mean? Whoever's playing it.
yeah.
Talking
That's a
about
remake, right?
Splitgate.
Yeah, I didn't know that this game was made by 2 Stanford students, like just 2
Two
guys.
kids from college, yeah, man.
That's sick. Good for them.
Yeah.
Because this game's taking off, dude. Like,
yeah, they
people
get
really
money
like it.
now.
They are,
You
dude.
could drop out now.
Now
my
you're
man.
done. You made it. People like your game, dude. You have lots of people playing their game.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
good for them. It looks relatively polished, too. Like, the gunplay.
Yeah.
It looked fine enough. Like,
My
wow.
boy Brahms had told me about this a while back. he was telling me about it because he plays like a lot of underground games and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
this one started underground and then just
I knew
blew
about
up.
Splitgate. I didn't know it was made by such a small team. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's what's sick. You know, it's like, wow,
Yeah,
that's
but
impressive.
That's interesting. You know, Portal and Arena Shooter. You know,
I just have the
combined
hardest
together.
time with arena shooters. We've always talked about this, you know, like I don't have the patience for it anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, it looks good and it looks fun. I can
For
see
sure.
why people really like it.
Right.
And that portal system's a cool idea, you know. Good
Yeah,
for
it's
them.
pretty dope.
Good for them.
Riders Republic, man. I know we saw like more. Was it gameplay?
It had them like I thought it was bike riding. Yeah, it had some bike riding.
Yeah, some little stuff.
but
But it seemed like it was like an
And
open world type of thing, right? That you're just
Yeah,
kind of
it
doing
is.
whatever to get
It
to point
is.
A to point B to wherever you want to go to. So
all the different extreme sports, dude. Like, there was something we did. We talked about Rise of the Republic, and we kind of like weren't happy about it.
nah,
And there was a couple of people on there that are just like thought that we were crazy.
right?
Like supposedly there's this other like BMX game that's like taking off, which I've never even heard of. It's in like some obscure corner of the YouTube
Okay.
that supposedly people really like, and like I guess people are super pumped about Rise of the Republic. Like,
I think
I have no
the
interest
X
in
Games
this.
type of sports and stuff like that, like, you know, people really like, and we only have like specific games that showcase that, you know.
I
But
guess,
this one is
yeah.
like an amalgamation of like everything. You know,
I
what
had
mean?
no idea there was
Like,
a
it's
market
not
for this.
everything in
Yeah, it does. It has
So-
SX snowboarding, right? Like it has everything you want if you like the extreme sports. But
Right.
I just didn't know that there was a market for this, man. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
at
this,
all.
If this ends up coming to like Game Pass or something like that, then I might give this a whirl just to check it out and see, because it might be like a decent time waster. But this is definitely
Maybe.
like it has to have RPG aspects to
Yeah,
it
it
for
doesn't
me to
seem like
like
it does.
want to enjoy it. You know what I mean? I gotta get, you know, I gotta play it and to get better at it or whatever, and improve my stats and stuff like that. You know, that might be something I'm willing to take a little bit more of a look at. But,
Yeah, like just the simple fact of like riding a dirt bike or a mountain bike, it's not appealing enough to me.
Yeah.
Like even if it was free, I don't think I would try it. Maybe I would try it with Cloud if it works. I could just press play. I don't even have to download it.
Yeah, but
You know?
it also seemed as if there was like some type of a storyline in here too.
Yeah,
So
I don't know, man.
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
not sold.
yeah, so you know they had some more stuff,
Mm-hmm.
UFL, Lego, the Skywalker Saga. So it's like the entire Skywalker Saga.
Yeah, like the whole story.
It just followed the movies. I don't like Lego like that.
It's kind of funny. Look kind of silly. I mean, Lego just
Yeah,
always
it's
looks
always
silly.
silly.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
silly and funny.
But yeah, so another one that I actually thought was kind of interesting was Synced Off Planet. That one seemed like that might be kind of fun, you know what I mean? It's like you're on this planet or whatever, so it's almost like an MMO in a sense, slightly, but you know you have like these people or robots or something like that, and some of them you're able to control and adapt to like join you on your team, and then you can have like a squad and different things like that. So I still want to hear more about it.
A little
to see if it's
cyberpunky.
something to deal with, but it seems like it might be cool. It looks like there's RPG aspects on it, so
Right.
it might be something to put a little bit of time into. You know?
Yeah, it's giving me like a cyberpunk meets like Outriders,
Yeah,
right? Because
Yeah.
I like the third person.
with some division.
I really
or
like the
something in
third. Yeah, with some division tossed in there.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of third person shooting, so that's pretty cool. You have some tactical base cover tactics like Outriders, even though you got so strong you didn't even do tactical cover anymore.
Right.
But this one's interesting. I don't think we even had like a like who developed this, or like is this AAA? Is this an indie? Like what is it? You know?
I can't even remember, but yeah,
But
but
that
it
was
looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Had Outlast Trials,
Right.
of course, DokeV, where we saw
DokeV,
that.
bro.
Jurassic World Evolution 2. They gave a little bit more on
It's kind of like
Far
a
Cry
Sim City kind of
6.
thing with Jurassic World, but
Yeah.
didn't interest me.
Yeah, it did remind me of a Sim City type of thing where you're just building a park and then you're adding more dinosaurs in and
Dude,
they wreaking havoc. and
yeah,
shit.
you can build a park and add more dinosaurs in, and like, and to be honest, man, with Far Cry 6, I didn't watch it.
No,
Like, I knew, I already know.
I'm getting it. Like, you don't need
How
to
many
show me no
trailers
more.
have we seen?
Just give me
like,
the game already,
just give me
man.
the game already. Like at E3, like we got a trailer from Xbox, we got a trailer from Ubisoft, we got a trailer from like, got like 4 or 5 different trailers from like different studios.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, man, like come on, we know already. Just launch the game.
Yeah, and then just to finish wrapping this up, blow through a whole bunch of these other names. We've seen Jet before and stuff like that. They finally gave us a date for Horizon Forbidden West, February 18th, 2022. So another fucking game for 2022. My gosh. More of that other stuff. That's where I also found the Tales of Arise. To check that out. I thought Deadmau 5 in core was kind of interesting. It seemed like they're trying to do like some space where they would have like virtual concerts or something like that.
Yeah.
And then start this whole new like trend,
Yeah, it doesn't appeal to me, but yeah, I know what
it
you're
doesn't
saying.
appeal to me, but it seems like they could possibly be working on something that
this
would
might
change
be
the
popular
game
in
for,
society. Yeah, I can
for like
see that.
concerts and different things like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Especially with COVID and all that stuff, and people not wanting to go out more or things being closed down again. If there was like a location you could go to where you would be able to enjoy a concert, or like a live concert or something like that, that'd be cool.
Replaced. I'm waiting for Replaced.
Oh yeah,
that was my favorite of E3.
Okay.
We got a little video here. Nothing much. Yeah. But Replaced looks so sick. If you haven't seen Replaced, take some time to check that out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check out Replaced. Valheim. I've been hearing a lot about Valheim, for the PC and stuff like that. But I don't think it's on console, so I can't even check it out.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot here to really know what's going on with this game.
Yeah.
But it had an interesting art design. It's from the game people really like right now. It's like some kind of, I think it's like a survival open world, like RPG kind of thing. It had like a little 15 minutes of fame. I don't know. I think people are still playing it, but it was big for a minute there.
Yeah, I think I was hearing like New World and then Valheim in the same type of sentence,
Yeah, so Valheim's interesting. I never played it, so I just don't know,
Right, yeah. So, I mean, we saw like, Crossfire. They tell us some more about Genshin Impact, having some updates or whatever.
We got a date for Sifu.
Got a date for Sifu.
That's February 22nd.
Which is another one.
It's 4 days after Horizon. I mean, what are you supposed to do? You can't play them all.
Yeah, and then, a little bit more about the Death Stranding Director's Cut, which had the Metal Gear Solid level or whatever. Level.
Yeah, they're showing us some of the differences and changes, right?
Yeah, and so that was basically, like, it for the majority of the Gamescom, at least for the day one. There was a lot of things that they were showing us on day two and stuff like that with Forza Horizon and all of that stuff. More Wasteland, State of Decay, Sea of Thieves upgrades, blah blah blah.
Yeah, Xbox
we saw that
didn't do a lot.
Area.
Xbox did not do a lot at Gamescom. I was expecting more. They kind of just showed a lot of the things that we already play and know about. So it was kind of a dead show, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What Xbox did sucked.
Right.
But the Gamescom One Night Live, which we just went over, had lots of cool things on it. So that was worth it, But Xbox really dropped the ball, man. It wasn't that great at all. The only thing that I thought interesting, I don't know if you watched it, was the End of the Pit. No. Did you watch the End of the Pit trailer, man?
I did not.
Like, find that on that there. It's like a little 1 minute trailer, and like check this thing out, man. Like, it's like the two-handed magic, kind of like with the game you were talking about with the Battle Royale.
Yeah.
It looked like high action, high intensity, like really powerful spells. So it looked fun. You feel like you're you're pretty powerful, badass.
You're like some wizard or something.
Yeah, like you're some wizard. Like you feel like one powerful wizard. Like
oh yeah,
it just looks really dope.
It almost feels like Doom with magic though.
It's Doom with magic.
Yeah.
But like you got really powerful spells.
Right.
Like I don't know, it looks neat.
Okay.
This one I can see myself trying out. Especially if it's a Game Pass game, which I think it is.
Right.
I think almost everything Xbox showed was Game Pass, right? Like, they're sticking with that, man.
Right. I mean, I thought it was interesting that they were doing like a Sea of Thieves, Borderlands type of collab. They're trying to figure out any way to get people to play Sea of Thieves.
They are, man.
It's just
they
not
just
enough
announced
in
the
there
freaking Pirates of the Caribbean, and now they're announcing this. They're trying hard to get people to play that game.
Yeah, but I just feel like the fact that you don't have a ship that's yours.
Yeah.
Actually,
and you
just
can't
doesn't
upgrade
make
it
it
and
that
build
good.
it.
Like, I can't leave the game and leave shit on my ship. I lose all of that. So like, what are we doing here? Like, it just
I think that's the problem, right? It's like, dude, the game isn't good enough.
Yeah.
It's not that it's missing features or that it's missing skins. It's the game isn't good enough.
It's a large ass rogue sea game. Like,
yeah, it's not good enough, man. Like, so that's the problem. You keep pushing it though.
Right. Stray Blade. I was watching that one. That one looked kind of cool.
Stray Blade. I didn't actually check that one out.
Okay.
I missed that one.
Yeah, it kind of was like, maybe like a Dark Souls like game.
Oh yeah, this looks sick.
So it seemed like it was pretty interesting. And then you have
It's
your
kind of
different
like a
gear and
lower,
stuff like
low
that.
key kind of Dark Souls. It's not quite technically advanced at all. It looks more like a mobile game.
Right.
This looks mobile-ish
or
to
just
me.
like a different. I'm trying to think, like on some Dungeons and Dragons type
Yeah,
artwork.
yeah, it's not very, but yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Do you watch the Gunk? Did you watch any of that Gunk trailer?
I've seen Gunk
Looks kinda
before,
cool.
so I didn't really.
Yeah,
watch
just a little bit more. It just looks kind of neat. I don't know. Gunk kind of looks cool to me.
Yeah, it might be an interesting one.
I think I'd play that. I mean, of course, these are all Game Pass games. You can't cry here. There's lots of games here, man.
Yeah, it's lots of
So
stuff that's
many
coming out.
games, So,
they introduced the new Forza controller on there. So I just kind of wanted to jump into that the Halo Infinite, right? We saw the Halo Infinite and stuff, and then they decided to show us the Halo Infinite limited edition Xbox Series X console. Like, the first thing that came to my mind wasn't like, oh, this design looks cool or whatever. It was like, how the fuck I'm supposed to buy this when I can barely even get the OG? Like, I can't even get the OG in stores right now. How you gonna try to sell me this?
this was dumb.
Like, this is not gonna last. Like, you gonna have like 5 units come out?
This
And
was
if
dumb,
you making
dude.
this, did you stop making the OG one and producing those for a minute to produce this?
Yeah.
Because like you're cutting back on somebody else, man. That is just not gonna get a chance to get this.
How the hell do you create more hype than what you already have selling every one you can make? This makes zero sense to me. This is one of the dumbest things I've seen in a long time. You don't do this unless you're trying to get that sell bump. This is what they do. They release a new special edition, right, to get a new batch of sales.
Yeah.
You can't sell what
But
you
you
have.
can't-
You can't. People can't already get what you have already.
Yeah,
You sell every one you make already. This is dumb.
You have no inventory on the shelves right now,
This is
and you
so
making a limited
dumb.
edition. Like,
And to be honest, I think it looks stupid. Like, when I looked at this and I was like, after I thought about what you were saying, I thought the same exact thing. And I was like, it doesn't even look that cool to me. Like,
Well,
it looks
I
like a
thought
Tonka truck toy controller. I mean, I don't know. That looks like dumb to me.
yeah, I mean,
I think
thought
the
it didn't
stars
look
look
too
cool.
bad.
The stars at the top of the thing look pretty cool. The little, galaxy stars look cool. But the whole lines and, like, it looks like, Legos. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look it doesn't look premium at all to me.
Yeah, I saw, they're trying to add like the lines and stuff like that, and the plating and things like that. And
but it's just straight plain.
I actually thought that the announced Halo Infinite Elite controller looked a little bit better, but again, that kind of looked like one of the previous Elite controllers that was Halo inspired. So it wasn't really too many differences on it. I just don't have an Elite controller, so it'd be like, oh, if I was gonna get one, I'd probably just get that one, because it's got a little look. Unless they're gonna try to charge me for the look. But
They probably will, but I don't know. I just wasn't too impressed. For one, I wasn't too impressed with how it looked, and for number two, it's the most pointless and utterly ridiculous, in my opinion, special edition launch at this moment in time that makes absolutely zero sense.
yeah,
And then on top of that, we have reports that it's already been hijacked by scalpers anyways. So what a
which is
cluster F.
Which is one of those things where, it's like, okay, so you jacked the pre-orders, got you. But it's like, okay, even if you just did a limited edition console where anybody was able to pre-order it, but it was only available for like a week or 2 weeks pre-order time. You know what I mean? And then whatever they have in pre-orders, they just make those consoles. Like, I would have preferred that. Like, if you didn't pre-order it within the window and buy it, like, you just don't got it. It will not be sold on shelves, period. Like, this, the only people who pre-ordered it is the only people that's going to get it. Unless they just decide to sell it, resale prices or something like that. But
Yeah, and it's
just,
$50 more.
It's crazy. It's just crazy that they could have put this thing up and then boom, it's already on markets like eBay and stuff like that for 3 times the price.
$1,500. Like, it's so funny because I feel like this is the reverse of what Sony did. So it's like Sony found a way to like decrease the cost of their system to bring it to make money.
Right.
Microsoft just did a new paint job and added $50 on top of it. You know, like it's the exact same console. You aren't getting anything else.
Right. I
just
mean,
getting
it would
a new
be
paint job,
it would be
and this is their way to
if you get the Elite controller with it or
make
something.
money.
Yeah.
Because it's $50 more, man. Like, no way. Heck no, man.
I
like
think
black
even when I bought my
anyways.
Spider-Man console, it was
the same price as the
Yeah.
normal system. Like they're charging you $50 more.
and it came with a game. Well, actually, this one comes with
This
Xbox
is dumb.
Infinite. That's I think
It
that
comes
might
with the
be why.
game?
I think it comes with Xbox Halo Infinite preloaded on
Okay, well, there's something there for that $50. That means nothing to me because I have Game Pass. But I mean, yeah, I guess someone out there who doesn't have Game Pass.
it. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I don't know. This was just so funny to me.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud.
Yeah, it was just more so the audacity that you guys don't even have
Totally.
your shit sitting on shelves for you to even be thinking about coming out
Totally.
with a whole nother.
Totally, man.
I could see if you found a way to make the console with parts that were more available, so you had to alter some of the innards a little bit, and then boom, you're able to make them more. So like it's this is the version that's coming out. It's like a new version that's a little bit lighter because we got new parts or something like that.
Right.
But we able to spit them out because we're not on a shortage with this. You know what I mean?
Bizarre.
But this is just the consoles that they already got with some slight different artwork on top of it.
I think if you don't have an Xbox, you're like, damn, dude, just make the ones I want already.
You just made it 8 times harder. To
Yeah,
get
like
this
just
thing.
make the console I'm already trying to get.
Right. And then if you already got a console, right, as hard as it was, you just like, damn, like
I have no chance
the
at
exact
this one
next year
if I want it.
this
Yeah.
console is out. Like
It's so
I wish I had
ridiculous.
gave me the option before. What happened to shells? Just make a Halo shell and let me get that around my console instead of making a whole new console.
This is dumb, dude. I can't
But-
stand it.
Yeah, so I mean this is the first limited edition of the next gen though.
Yes,
So they've crossed that threshold now.
they
So
did it.
now it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what PlayStation comes up with.
They
for
can't
their
keep
limited
consoles on the
edition.
shelves, but they're gonna sell you another one anyways. How stupid,
They're
man.
gonna attempt, anyways.
Dumb.
They basically feeding right into the pockets of these resellers,
Yeah,
with these bots, to
it's
scoop up
so
everything.
dumb.
It's crazy. But yeah, so I thought all that stuff was interesting. But before we move on to the last like 2 topics or whatever we had, let's reiterate how insane 2022 will actually be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we talked about this. Like, 2022 is going to be a hell of a year. It's so many games coming out, man. You just opening up with Elden Ring, on January 21st. And a week after is Arceus. And then you have, like, 2 weeks after that is, like, Horizon, Forbidden West. And so on and so forth.
Yeah, like just to give you an
list
idea,
goes.
right? You have God of War, you have Elden Ring, you have Arceus, you have Horizon Forbidden West, you have Gotham Knights, you have Hogwarts Legacy.
Horizon
you have,
5?
Huh?
Horizon 5 comes out next year, too, right?
Horizon Zero Dawn?
No, Horizon, the car one.
Yeah, no, that comes out this year.
Okay, that comes out this
You
year.
got Forspoken,
Right.
you got Pragmata, you got
Does Avowed come out?
Avowed. No, that has no release date yet.
Okay. You got Hogwarts.
Yeah, Hogwarts. You have like the greatest list of games like I've ever seen in my life, all coming out. Starfield.
Starfield.
You have like, and I'm missing some. Like I'm missing a lot of games. Dying Light 2, I think. No, that's this year.
No, that's this year.
But it's like this is gonna be like the biggest, in my opinion. I think the most legendary year in gaming ever. To the point that I don't know if these companies are all going to want to release in this one year. I would not be surprised if some get even moved.
Shit's getting pushed back, bro.
Yeah,
I know it is. It's too many coincidences that they just throwing out 2022. They just doing that to just give you something to tell you, oh, it's next year, and then they gonna push that
everything
back
is
from there.
2022.
Yeah, it's too
Everything.
Much. It's too much, especially in the first quarter. There's a shit ton of games in the first quarter. Like the competition is gonna be tough next year for Game of the Year. 'Cause
Totally.
There's just gonna be a lot of shit out there. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a real defining moment if you get Game of the Year next year.
That's gonna be like the greatest Game of the Year of all time, right? If you can win that next
you got
year.
some heavy competition.
Oh, you were the 2022 Game of the Year winner.
Oh shit, you did the 2022.
You
Game
got the
of the Year
2022 one? Dude, that one's crazy.
Man.
Right? Like, that's the one that's on everyone's shelf. Like, I don't know. This year is nuts. I don't know. You mentioned money, but what's even harder is time. Like, how do we find the time to play all these games, man?
Time is
like,
gonna be a big thing, but I feel like I
crazy.
gotta like. I was telling you before. I feel like I gotta like get a new credit card, or just clear out one completely, just to have it dedicated solely to video games, because there's gonna be so much shit that's coming out that it's just gonna be like, damn, another one. Like DJ Khaled, another one.
Yeah, there's
another one.
Another one.
Like, it's
another
just gonna,
one.
it's
There's
just gonna be crazy.
nothing.
It's gonna keep on.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's gonna be no downtime.
I'm trying to figure out where the breaks will be at in
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's no
2022 for
downtime.
the
Like,
games.
where will I have a window to play something else? No, there won't be.
Yeah, man.
That's nuts, bro.
It's crazy, especially this year where we're like tapping into old ass games that have been out for like years because we're like running out of games.
Yeah, I'm
to
playing
play.
freaking
And
Hyperlight Drifter.
Then they're just gonna dump the whole bag on your ass.
Like February alone, we were pointing out, you know, you have Horizon in February, you have Saints Row in February, you have Destiny 2 in February, you have Sifu in February. It's a never-ending list. You have, oh yeah, that's right. You have the Evil Dead, the game that we've been seeing in E3. That's in February.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like, come on, dude. Like, this is impossible. You're not gonna make any money. Push the game, man. Release at a different time. What a silly situation.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I mean, like, make sure you just storing up, man. Just start selling shit at random, you know, on OfferUp or something.
Bank
Get
your
you some
vacation
pocket
time,
change.
man.
Yeah, man. Make your vacation time. Tap into your 401k so you can be able to buy some of these games. Like, it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff coming out. But one of the last things that we've seen within this this GamesCom stuff is a trailer, a more in-depth like trailer or whatever for Elden Ring, or at least another one.
Yeah, they got hands-on preview at the you know,
this
media.
one was
the media
IGN,
did.
I believe, that was able to play.
There's
I'm sure
other people too
that got a chance
played.
to play.
Yeah,
IGN ain't the only one, but yeah, I mean, it seemed like this was one of those games that was like that we've been like kind of like really waiting for as far as like Souls is concerned.
Oh yeah,
like,
this is the biggest
I
one.
mean, we talked about those, you know, those biome-like areas, or you know, it's supposed to be 6 of them.
And you can see them in the distance.
Yeah, you could just see everything, and you know, that area that you're in is just big as hell, and there's tons of stuff to do. But Mans was talking about running across carriages that you could possibly rob, but you just gotta take care of the big guy. People that's looking to try to, like, you know, like bandits or something like that, like catch you slipping and kill you, but you can sneak around them.
Random boss events.
Yeah, random boss
you
events.
See some
that
bandits
at
a campfire, and a dragon just come down and swoops them up, and now you got a boss to fight. That's nuts.
The fact that you've got like these huge dungeons or whatever, like a castle.
You have like dungeons, and you have like the main hubs, the biomes.
Yeah,
you have like both.
And you can choose like how you want to approach those areas.
Hunting, dude.
That's like crazy. Now all they gotta do is tell me that it's co-op, and I'm just.
I know we're waiting on word for that, right?
I'll probably pre-order the bitch, even though I don't like pre-order.
I know, that's how excited you are.
Yeah, because it's just like, man, you tell me it's co-op. Like, I have my boy come in here and we can go rob a stagecoach together or something.
What did you think like I did? Like, when they were talking about this, and they were talking about like when you go to the biomes, you have like 2 choices. Yeah. You can go in like guns blazing or stealth.
Through the front door where everybody sees you, or you can go through the back door and you'll still have a fight, but it'll just be
this is like
a more precise one.
More stealth than I ever thought it would be.
Yeah.
It almost feels like that's a path.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
You have a blow dart?
Go assassin
You're like
style,
poisoning pizza with the blow dart. He was saying like you shoot a little poison dart and they do. You were like taking big dudes out. Like, my only thing is when I heard that, this is my only concern when I heard that, because I was super excited.
Right.
Was like, well, damn, like, can I do the whole game that way? Because once you get to the boss fight, I'm gonna have to do physical combat. But what if I've been playing the game stealth? Like,
what if you could take out the bosses without actually having to battle them?
Kind of like how Assassin's Creed was. Like, it could be very difficult, but if you can find a way to like assassinate it,
yeah, you can kill him.
You can just assassinate him.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be dope, but that was an actual option.
Right.
I don't know. So that was my only concern when I thought about that. But I was like, dude, you can like make this a stealth game. It sounds like you could stealth the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, just poison dart dudes and like sneak around, assassinate. It's like, dude, this is nuts. So different, but like so exciting.
Yeah, man. I can't wait for January 21st, man. Like I need this year to be fucking over already.
That's how I feel, man. I'm ready for this year to be over.
Yeah.
Totally ready.
We still got a few things to wait on, but it looked good. I was just like, man, and that makes sense why you have a mount that you can summon and then get rid of or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff makes sense.
And you're just running around all over the world doing these little portals or whatever these things are that you jump around the map on with your horse.
Yeah.
Like
the little the gusts of wind that you can climb like tall mountains and stuff like that.
It seems like the mobility is going to be off the charts. So I don't know, man. I am super excited to see how this all works.
Yeah, for sure.
How the little mini dungeons works, I'm curious about.
Man,
like what treasures can I find?
All the dungeons, and like how do you find the secondary spots, and is there more than one, hidden access way, or can you come in multiple ways, than just the one hidden way or something like that,
It doesn't seem like a grindy open world like a Far Cry, right? Where you're just like going from outpost to outpost, It sounds like it's much more like organic. Like you're just really exploring the world and you're collecting things, and there isn't like this grind. You're just going from each biome to each biome, going into dungeons along the way if you want, capturing caravans with free loot. Like it's cool, man. I can't wait. Cannot wait. This gonna like captivate our lives for like 3 months.
Yeah, I'm having. We were talking about it before, but I feel like I'm gonna have to play Pokemon Arceus like
later.
On the road or something.
I know,
like
there's
that.
no time.
Like I'm just gonna have to play Elden Ring while I'm at home, and then just solely like on lunch break or something like that play Arceus. That way I can get that in as well, because I want to play that too.
Right? I know.
So it's just like, damn, it's just so much to play. But yeah. So for one of the last topics, right? We had already went over this last week on the pod about Naughty Dog and this multiplayer game that was presumably forgotten or stopped, halted, or whatever, in the middle of creating. So basically, Naughty Dog has recently posted, and this was actually found on their Twitter account, but they have job application openings that they've put up.
Yeah, this was just Friday.
Right. So this one was basically a job posting for a multiplayer game that had like a whole bunch of different aspects to it. But I'm trying to look for the
so
right now.
This came out literally Friday, August 27th. 27th. Naughty Dog is hiring across multiple disciplines for the studio's first standalone multiplayer game, and I think this is coming out because of the data mine.
Probably.
I think the data mine happened, and they're like, well, snap, it already realizes it. But what I saw when you, because you sent me this.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought was like, snap, this is going to be that GTA Online I was talking about, man. It's a standalone multiplayer game. And then you look over at the game design, and they have associate game scripter, gameplay scripter. That means that there's a story.
Yeah.
Level environment design, a monetization economy designer. This is not Battle Royale. I don't think this is Battle Royale, dude.
I'm just wondering what that monetization thing is. Is that just like how money is exchanged in the game?
That's
or
what I'm thinking.
Is that real money buying things for the game?
Like a store.
Like
a skin store.
Or items or
my first thought was it's an actual economy in the game. But maybe it may be like a store, like a loot shop, right, or something like that. And then a systems designer. This does not feel like a Battle Royale, not in my mind. I hope that that it isn't as well.
Yeah, but I mean, they got quite a few job positions open. You know, for game designing alone is about 5. You know, lighting and visuals, programming's got about 3. Quality assurance.
That's just
UI,
for this one game.
Just for this.
They launched another one with all the other areas they're looking for help for too.
Right.
So they're clearly working on like 2 games right now. They're working on probably like their next big single player game.
Yeah.
And they're working on this multiplayer game at the same time. My question to you also, when I saw this, was, does this mean it's years away? If they're doing new hiring, does this mean this is years away? And that was
probably a good minute away.
I don't want this to be far away, man.
Because like, why would you need to hire somebody to just
if you're
finish
close,
up
right?
something
If you're
short?
close,
Yeah.
like next year,
right? I wouldn't want to do a temporary. I mean, there is the associate gameplay scripter, which is a temporary assignment.
Right.
But maybe that's because once you've already got the
UI
scripted,
programmer is
all you
also a
need.
temporary assignment as well. There's a
Right.
few temporary assignments on your development support.
Right.
Quality assurance testers, temporary assignment.
I would definitely try to apply for the quality assurance tester's job, man.
Yeah.
You got the inside
So you
scoop.
can play it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is really cool. I'm thinking 2023.
Yeah,
I think 2022 is too crowded.
might be a solid.
I think they know that, so
Yeah.
we'll probably see 2023,
I
which
mean,
is
if
a
this
bummer
is-
because I
if-
love Last of Us so
If
much.
this was on some GTA type shit, I could see 2024, just because it'd have to be in depth.
If it's big like that, maybe it's so far away. What a bummer. I don't want it to be that far away, but I wouldn't be surprised either, man.
Yeah,
It's so many years between Naughty Dog game releases, man. It's so many years.
Yeah, but you know they keep on doing remakes and shit. That's what they be wasting their time on.
I can't wait for this, whatever it is.
But yeah, man. So I'm definitely excited to see what comes from this multiplayer. You know, to see. I mean, obviously, you know they've got this picture of Ellie on the background or whatever. And
Clearly looks like Ellie.
Yeah, in this Last of Us, you know, setting. But, you know, trying to play devil's advocate here, it could just be because that was the last game that they've done, that they using that. You know, it's a game that you would recall, you would know, you know, Naughty Dog, this game, yeah, you understand. But maybe it's not for that game. Maybe it's its own separate IP entity type thing.
Maybe.
Which would
Because
be
it doesn't
cool,
say, but I think it is have to do with Last of Us 2 because that's always been the MO, that they're working on Last of Us 2's multiplayer. I would be surprised if they switched it now.
Yeah.
But the picture they have here is she's kind of standing on a rock looking out over like the city. She's not looking over the city, but she's like looking into it, which makes me feel like it's going to be like Fallout 76 or like GTA Online, where you're just in an open world, a vast open world.
Right.
And you're in like a hub with like, 30 other people or whatever, and you're just doing your own thing, collecting, gathering, following your story, just like what we've been seeing on these other online games. I think that's what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Except you're going to get the beauty and wonder of Naughty
Of
Dog's
that world.
polish, dude. That
Yep.
world, yep. Which excites me.
I mean, if they can,
And if we can play together, dude.
amplify, yeah. If they can
Oh,
amplify
sick, dude.
the
I can't
beauty
wait.
of Last of Us 2's world in this game, in this multiplayer,
And you can play
game,
together?
where you're having like mad numbers of people on the map at one time, that's gonna be amazing, dude.
Dude, imagine like we're scavenging a building together, like hunting it, and like we see some humans in the distance, like one guy, like we were tormenting that one guy
Yeah.
online, dude. Like totally fun, man.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
you would obviously run like one person is the one that's going up front, up
Yeah,
close and
you have, like,
personal
a
to get
lookout.
attention, and you got the sniper that's playing in
Yeah.
the background,
Yeah,
to pop off heads and stuff like that.
this
But
is
yeah,
so cool.
So, yeah, but I don't know about y'all, man, but I'm about to search up some more DokeV stuff. Find out what I can find.
I know, man. I
you
can't
know.
wait. I'm counting the days when they release that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's all we got for you this week. It's hot as fuck, so we about to be up out
We
of
out,
here.
man. We out.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Hit that like button for us. If you happen to forgot, if you remembered the first time, just hit that shit again. All it does is stay lit. Well, actually, don't hit it again because I think it undoes it. So regardless, just make sure the like button is marked or whatever. And yeah, until next week, we'll catch you guys later. Deuces.
Peace.
See you.
I love you, me.